Good morning and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD, where today we are going to be continuing our deep dive of Mechwarrior the Battletech role-playing game. I'm your host, Brian, and I'm joined, as always for this series, by...
I'm MaxLiao from Legion of Myth, representing the Capellan Confederation as always. Xixing Liao.
I mean, yeah, at least until you overheat.
Yeah. I like more the Soviet style of the Capellan Confederation than the Chinese, but whatever.
I mean, all I'm hearing is that you're a dirty commie. So
yes. Может быть, мы говорим по-русски, oh crap, I don't know how to say live stream. It's probably just live stream.
that is one of my favorite things about Portuguese, like the number of times, like occasionally at work I'll end up talking to a customer from Brazil, and so I'll just like flip into Portuguese because it's fun. And if I'm talking about work related stuff, suddenly I'm like, oh wait, I'm just gonna make this up, and it's an English word that I'm kind of putting a Portuguese spin on it. They never question me. So it's like,
they always hang up like, I don't know. I was talking to some Indian guy.
I mean, so maybe, I don't know.
Well, Japanese is bad because first of all, it already sounds like baby talk because every syllable ends in a vowel. And then they take things like personal computer, personal, air conditioner, aircon. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. And there's a whole ton of different words that they have like that. I found out that one of the terms that I heard constantly over there is considered racist, yet the Japanese use it like it's not racist. And I'm like, I mean, and I'm not saying that, oh, no, from our perspective, it's racist because of blah, blah, blah. No, like literally it's a racist term that they just constantly use. And I'm like, crap, I use that term all the time because they made it sound to me like that's what everybody says. And when I hung out in Japan, that's what everybody said. Like, oops.
Max's true colors coming out.
Yeah.
So
at least I understand the Asian or some Japanese, unlike some people with Asian in their podcast name.
But you're not bitter about that.
Oh no, I think it's funny. I think they're a joke.
Oh, I don't disagree. It's
I'm not bitter about them at all. I think they're wackadoodles. That's the most professional term I can come up with.
I mean, that's totally fair. But I mean, I've just gotten to the point where I don't even care about that kind of stuff. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch the stuff from people that make good things and don't complain all the time. Like,
well, the complaining needs to happen still on occasion. I just know that there are better people within our circles out to do that now than me. So, it's no such thing as like I passed the torch. No, there's nothing like that. It's just they did a better job. Why do I have to scream? I mean, I screamed during the time when I needed to. And you know what? Sometimes when the squeaky wheel gets the grease, well, if they're squeaking, you got to squeak louder. And no, you can't. The way I always said, even back when I was ranting, the way I always said it, 80 to 90% of people should take the high ground. Fully believe that. But you do need that 10 to 20% who are going to sling mud. Even if after the fact you say, okay, go away, thank you for your service, but go away. You still need that 10 to 20% to sling some mud back.
So not that I am a sporty sport guy, but I think I'm right in this example. It's like the enforcer in hockey. Can he play? Sure. But his job is more to get out there and rough up the other team, or at least keep your team from getting roughed up.
Back when fighting would only get you 5 minutes and not an ejection, I know.
Right. So, but a point being, you do need those people on the team. Are they getting the puck in the goal? No. But
are they stopping you from getting the puck in the goal?
I mean,
for a few games, as a matter of fact, he did such a good job at goaltending, you couldn't score for 10 games.
Anyways, but that's that's kind of how I look at it. But regardless,
And see, the Fed rats might have the enforcer, but we have the vindicator.
I don't know. I mean, Hans Davian has your Star Empire.
You had to go low, didn't you? You had to go low. I can't argue that one.
I actually, that is one thing, talking about a little bit of Battletech lore, that I am a little bit surprised that they didn't actually like just allow, nope, we're actually gonna allow the FedCom to actually take all of House Liao.
Not gonna lie, that's always been a curiosity. I'd love to talk to whoever was involved in making those decisions at that time as to why they didn't do that. Was there a reason you wanted to keep the Capellan Confederation around? I mean, to be fair, again, going back to old school, my version Battletech, there are 5 main star empires plus the periphery stuff, and each of those 5-star empires were those houses were stereotypes. They were space stereotypes. You had space Bushido, you had space money but no good military, you had space industry but all wanted to stab each other in the back, you had space communism, and you had space Western Europe. Like that was all wrapped in, and some little oddities in there, like Rasselhog, speaking their Swedenese, which I always want to hear somebody speak Swedenese. I think that would be hilarious. But you had these minor little areas, we'll say, but that's what they were. Why would you take out the Capellan Confederation? Because they were such the perfect foil bad guy. I mean, remember, it was based on, I don't care what anybody says, it was based on 1980s culture, right?
Right.
Even though technically speaking, Steiner kind of came from more the Poland area. They were space Germany. Okay.
They were. No, exactly. And that's, but that's the thing is like I could see a very interesting storyline where, okay, so Lao gets taken over.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have like a resistance, occupied, nation. And then you also then have Rasselhog that just came out of being occupied, which could also then fit that, fit that bill. So,
yeah, I mean, the Rasselhog thing was written into canon already. Like that was kind of a hotbed area, just like the Isle of Skye area for Steiner, right? That's always been kind of a hotbed area. And to be fair, the Federated Sons has had more civil wars and problems than any other house that, just somehow doesn't get reported out there. Fake news to everybody. I get it. Well, maybe Merrick was worse, but the Capellan Confederation just kept losing. Like in the era that I play, one of my battle cries is always free Chesterton. Nobody knows who the hell Chesterton is anymore, but Chesterton was a commonality that the Capellans were like, okay, we got to get this back. In fact, in the 3025 era, he still had a seat on the House of Scions, even though it was entirely taken over by the Capellans, or the Fed rats, like was a century before or something like that. By the time 3050 came around. But going back to what you're saying, like I don't know, that's weird. So the impetus for the reason why Hans supposedly attacked the Capellan Confederation instead of the Draconis Combine was because of Max cloning him.
Right.
And he couldn't let that. Nope. Max is too nuts. We got to do something about this. I get it. I absolutely get it. I do think, though, that the rivalry between the Davians and Kurita would have been more apt, number one. You'd have to get Max out of the throne and not have Romano be crazy in order to have that happen, but would be more apt. And I don't know how you felt, and anybody in chat or anybody in the comments later felt, but I always hated the friendship or pseudo-friendship between Theodore, Hans, and Victor. Well, yeah, more so Victor because Hans died of his heart attack, but I never liked that. Like, it didn't feel right. The Kentauri's massacre, and then you're like, hey, what happens? We'll look over that, and I know it was a long time ago, but still, like no, man. Takashi and all of them were so fanatically anti-Davian, and like Capellans should have been like, whatever. Yeah. Stop putting us in the butt. We'll get to you later.
Well, no, because okay, so again, put it in the time frame that it came from. Okay, like technically, there's no reason that the United States and Japan should be friendly at all.
Well, we weren't when they were Bushido. And what is House Kurita? House Kurita is pure Bushido.
Sure, no, but my point is that technically we shouldn't. But post World War II, the dynamic between the two countries has very much changed into more friendly.
But House Kurita was based. I mean, how the name Kurita is a World War II was a admiral. I think he was.
I have no idea.
I forget. I think he was an admiral. I mean, that space Japan there is space Bushido. It's not space Western Japan. It's not like 1960s. Let's buy out Seattle Japan. It was 20s and 30s. Kill yourself because you said the wrong word, Japan. So that's easy to show the war there. I'm not saying they should have taken. Be very clear. I'm not saying they should have taken over Kurita. Heck, I don't care if you got half the worlds this way and you got half the worlds this way, or something, kind of like what they did in the 3145 map, so to speak.
Right.
But with how many times that House Kurita, the Draconis Combine, got this close to New Avalon, you would think that they would have been like, hey, you know what? Again, my history is good up until 3025. After that, it becomes a little shaky. But there are multiple times when New Avalon was almost taken over by the Kuritans.
Right. No, and so but that's kind of my point is I think if they had gone down this route, well, like, okay, so I think the reason that Kurita became very friendly with Victor, with Davian,
is there
things
sandwiched?
Like that. Right. No, exactly. Like the clans are coming in and, like Davian technically was not touched by the clans. Right. So, that was all part of the whole thing is that, okay, we're going to build technology and we're going to share that because we are all fighting against the clans. And so you can see why those friendships would then develop, even though they had been historical enemies.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more. This is going back almost 50 years or 40 years or whatever it is now in some of this commentary. I would have liked to have seen the Capellans have more issues with the Merrics, especially over Andirian, because the Capellan Confederation claimed the Andirian region at one point, and the Merrics were like, no.
Right.
And then I would have liked to have seen not a détente, but something like, look, shut up, Capellan Confederation. You're not worth our time. We've got bigger fish to fry right now. We could stomp on you whenever we want to. We've done it before. Look at the turkey shoot. What was I know what it is in the real world, but I forget the name of it for the name of the planet that they were over when the Capellans were just absolutely wasted by and lost most of their aerospace forces. It would have been more fun because Merrick, because of all of its internal problems, it would have been more fun to see all their internal problems versus the Capellan small state. See what I'm saying? So might not be a big state, but they're more unified versus the Merricks and their internal problems. And then have Steiner, who keeps losing worlds to, like, if you can go through the history, Steiner was much bigger. They kept losing worlds to Draconis Combine. In fact, there's a statement in the Draconis Combine book that says something to the effect of like, it's like every world we take over becomes harder and harder to maintain because it's like they're so easy to beat and they're so hard to hold on to, like because it keeps draining Kuritan resources because Kurita worlds aren't actually all that good. Nobody wants them. They're actually crap. I have a couple of industrial centers, but most of the Kuritan worlds are crap. And then you just see the Fed rats kind of sandwich them a little bit, but then pull out the ghost units. Then pull out Kurita is actually more powerful than we thought. I just backtrack to the beginning. I don't know what the point was in cutting the Capellan Confederation in half. I kind of wish they would have either wiped it out completely, but then why lose Space Bushido? Or not Bushido, Space Commies, or let it just kind of sit there behind its little iron curtain, so to speak, and use that reference and just let them seethe.
Right, and that's why I'm kind of positing this alternate, 3025 era, we'll call it, where Hans, gives Melissa, the
not Rob. Oh my God, I can't think of the Dirian district.
Well, I was going to say the Capellan Confederation.
No, Dairon district, because that's where Mindo Waterly was from.
I'm
Comstar. She's the Comstar. She's the one that basically formed the Word of Blake with that before the Word of Blake was a thing.
Got it.
She was the one that took over after the wedding. She's the one that killed the presenter I forget his name. Oh, what was his name? Julian, whatever heck, Triple O? Is that his name?
Dude, that's been a long time since I read those books.
Yeah, same here. Well, again, same here. But yeah, she's the one that took over and said, "Hey, we have forces now, and you're going to have to deal with it." And Comstar, we're actually going to be kind of the rulers of the inner sphere, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Right. My point is just okay. Looping back around, here is a possible Mechwarrior campaign, in the 3025 era because like I said, to me, I think it would be interesting where, Davian takes the Capellan Confederation, all of it. I'm just going to give it all to him.
Sure. Okay.
Because then you have the underground, like loyalists to the Capellan Confederation raising a stink. You then have
don't forget about MaxLiao. He was already, he was pro Capellan Confederation. He was just against his dad and his mom and his sister.
Okay.
And then he was in the novels too a little bit, but I know more about the history side of him. And then think of the Hassics. With Capellan Confederation taken in half with the Chaos March, right? That's what they called it. It was the Chaos March. That's if the Capellan Confederation was taken completely, do you think the Hassics would have allowed another march? They'd have been like, oh, no. No, Michael Hassick would have been like, that entire area is mine. He would have created his own House Hassick.
Let's see. Like, again, we have so many adventure seeds right now. Max is already trying to figure out, how to, lead the resistance from, from behind captured territory.
I'd have left. Like, to be fair, to be 100% fair, I understand that the Davians are the good guys, and I've always liked, I like Hans. I actually liked Hans as a character. I didn't like Victor, but I did like Hans. I already gave my story as to why I kind of became a Capellan fanatic. It's more of a gimmick than anything else, but it's a gimmick that I can hold on to because nobody else does it.
Right? No, it definitely makes you unique, Max.
Aw,
so
that amongst many other things. But yeah, again, that's 40 years ago or however long ago. We can't change that kind of history. I'm happy with the position that the Capellan Confederation is in now, with the exception that MaxLiao apparently can't have an heir. At least that's the last I heard. I'm not as versed on my 3145, 3150, whatever year they're in now, information, but MaxLiao can't have an heir, so that's going to cause a problem. Is it going to be the next Magistry of Canopus?
That would be something very interesting to put in a comment on Reading Wiki, on a video from Reading Wikis for you, for somebody to perhaps, explore in a future video. Just going to drop that one right there. Anyways.
Can MaxLiao have kids?
No, just read the article about MaxLiao.
Is there one? There probably is. Got to be.
Why wouldn't there be? See,
I got my information from the 3145 handbooks. That's it.
MaxLiao. Look at that. There's a whole wiki article. It's
awesome. You know what I like? Long. Have you seen the 3145 map? If you've got that, before we start, we actually have something we're supposed to be doing, don't we? like it'd be awesome if you have access to the 3145 map. If you can put that in there, and pardon me, I'm gonna use some crude language for a second, and just look at the nice penis that's jammed into the Federated Suns.
Case Seraphis.
Well, does he say that too?
No, like anytime I have him on a stream, he tries to find a way to work it in.
Oh, just the word. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a visual for this. I mean, what were they thinking with that 31? I mean, they were thinking that they're awesome. And went in, executed the Hassick line. Yes! Take that, Hassicks.
There we go. All right. So
we're talking 3145. The game we're reading is 3025, and we're like 150 or 25 years in the future.
I wish I could like have multiple screen shares.
I kind of found a tricky way you can trick it into doing that.
Like, there we go.
Look at
That
that.
is 3145.
Look at all that green coming back. Still small.
Yeah. And then House Karita violating House Davian.
Yeah, but they're a little limp.
I don't know.
Yeah, that to me, that map is unfortunate.
I thought that they had actually taken New Avalon.
No, my understanding that was his name, Caleb Davian, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, I'm not as versed on this ad, but I think his name's Caleb Davian. I think that if I remember correctly, no, I don't want to start lying here. I could have sworn that they stopped him somehow, but I forgot what it was. I'm sad to see what happened to Steiner.
Well, I mean, and of course, actually, that's another interesting point on current storyline.
You know, they're getting it from both sides. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. No, so like this section right here, the Clan Jade Falcon occupation zone, effectively doesn't exist.
Oh,
because during Hour of the Wolf, Malvina Hazen basically took all the Jade Falcons. She's the well, at the time of the book, she was the current Khan of Jade Falcon.
Okay.
And so took all the Jade Falcon mech warriors to go and attack Earth as well. And because basically what's his name? Alaric Ward basically gave them the code to get to Earth because he didn't feel he could truly have conquered Earth without also conquering the Jade Falcons.
Ward is a wolf name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the plot armor character that they came in, that they brought. No, I think he's like technically the trueborn son of Victor, Catherine, and Vlad Ward.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, yeah. They went full on Serpentor with this guy. Anyway.
30-25. This is why you stay in 30-25, folks.
Yeah, exact. Don't. You never know what cooties you're gonna get. Anyway, so the thing is that the Falcons left this zone essentially completely undefended, and so Steiner's going back in and taking over. Which I guess I should look at our 3151 map.
Oh, their new map. Okay, last I heard is 3145. So if there are new maps, I do still try to collect the books that keep me up to date on like the lore, like the 20-year updates and so forth. But I don't buy the novels or any of that nonsense anymore.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't think that's real.
And folks, I'm gonna give Brian a task right now that he's probably gonna forget, but hopefully he puts in a timestamp on this video for when the actual Mechwarrior 1E discussion starts.
That's a lot of work.
Even though I'm the one that's derailed it again. 4 out of 4.
Hey, you're nothing if not consistent. Okay, maybe it's 31. And I thought there was a new map.
Yeah, I thought there was one that actually had a bunch more little, like some of those states had broken up even smaller.
I think this is it.
It would be nice if the 5 successor houses could come back and be the inner sphere again. Maybe keep some of these smaller ones as like periphery kingdoms, or oh Jesus, that, you know what's funny though? That kind of looks familiar to me. Is that legit?
I think it is. It's off of DeviantArt, but I think it is legitimate. I'd have to dig around. But yeah, because that's Ghost Bear Dominion.
Who's the brown to the west?
This?
Yeah.
Probably whatever this is, 15 and 16. I can't read that. I don't know. We'll have to dig into it later. Gura's too lazy to go back and edit. He doesn't even know the meaning of the word
when we
edit.
start talking about 1E and just say 0:00 intro, a Battletech talk or something, and then how many minutes? About 25:47, whatever time we start doing 1E. Mechwarrior 1E. That's all you have to do.
I know. I need to be way better about that. Like, actually, last thing, and then we'll get started. On the Wiki's channel, a guy's like, you really need to have like all the chapters and whatnot in there. Yeah, but I'm like, ugh, that's a lot of work, and I have to go back at every single video, and I'm 2 months into it at this point. Anyway, whatever.
Well, you can always just start now. I'm saved because when we do our Sunday streams, I clip them into just videos, so I don't have to do that. So I cheat. But if you actually go look, you're a member, you can see them. I do timestamp all of the segments.
Stop trying to make me more professional, or make me.
I even provided him a short to advertise him.
I didn't have. And shut up. All right, let's.
Because I want to see him succeed,
and I appreciate it. Let's share a screen again.
I don't want to sit on some fail stream every Sunday. No, never mind.
For the next fail stream, check out RPG Digest on Legion of Myth.
There you go. That's the second hurtful thing you said today, sir.
Won't be the last. And this, folks, is why I don't know why I have any friends. Yeah. And then we've got Seraphis. I actively try to fail my channel. He's gotten up to 102 subscribers.
Cool. No,
and then lost a couple.
Well, that happens. That's I wouldn't even worry about that. Seraphis, I don't know if it's been helping you to post on my Discord, and I ask you that because I think like 90% of the people on my Discord have that channel blocked.
That's kind of annoying.
It is, but I can't force people to look at every channel. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But I hope it is working out for you, Seraphis.
I should use my moderator powers. I wonder if I could.
You can what?
I wonder if I can force unblock it.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Neat trick, Malachi. Yeah.
It's kind of weird how it works if you just, use it. Holy crap. We've been yammering for 30 minutes.
Use it, don't abuse it.
But regardless, we had some good Battletech talk.
And we started 15 minutes late. I love this live stream. This is, and I mean it. This is fun.
I would say we are nothing if not professionals here. All right,
we are not professional.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Today we are going to be talking about equipment. Neither of us have been prepared and read this ahead of time, so be prepared. We're probably going to do some jump cutting. Well, not even cuts. We're just going to be like, okay, we've talked about this enough, and just kind of skipping over to next pages. So do keep that in mind, folks, because we don't need to read about every single piece of equipment. But we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the color plates, which are just fun. I love the old school Battletech art. So
the only problem with them is those are always the pages that would fall out of the book.
Right, because it was a different paper material.
Yep.
So yeah, the binding was odd. Anyways, so with that said, before we get started, everybody, if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We do the deep dives every Wednesday, or most Wednesdays. We'll say most Wednesdays. I'm not as good as Max at doing it every single week.
You gotta show up on time, Regiment.
But we do these deep dives most Wednesdays, and we, I do try to put up a few videos each week, do some live streams, painting miniatures, etc. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to come on back and check that out. And obviously, if you know anyone who would be interested, share the stream, etc., etc., etc. So, are we finally ready, Max?
What are you talking about? I've been talking Battletech the entire time.
That's true. We have, but now we're going to talk Mechwarrior.
Oh, we have to read rules.
Yeah, we have to read rules. That's kind of it's kind of the point of the deep dive.
That's fair. All right, no, this is gonna be fun. Tech levels, remember, lost tech is important in the 3025 era.
That's true. All right, there's a wide variety of equipment available to Mechwarrior regiments in the Inner Sphere. As with the construction of mechs and spacefaring vessels, much of the technology for producing these items is now far beyond the capabilities of present-day manufacturing and scientific technology. As a result, some pieces of Mechwarrior equipment are rare and extremely valuable. Tech levels. Each item has been classified in two ways. First, it is assigned a tech level of 1 through 4. 1 equals low tech, requires normal industry, pre-20th century technology. So, this is making a horse-drawn plow, or something along those lines.
A stick with a rock on the end of it.
Stick with a rock on the end of it. I would say that would be no tech. So like sub 1.
Can monkeys do it? That's technology, sir.
I mean, there are tool using monkeys.
Yeah, they dip and get ants. They don't put rocks on the end of it.
That you've seen.
That's fair.
All right. Medium tech requires normal industry, 20th century or later technology. So gas cars, turbine-driven aircraft, things like that. 3, high-tech requires heavy industry, Terran hegemony to Star League period, still understood. 4, advanced high-tech, lost Star League technology, primarily considered black box, no longer understood. Black box refers to equipment that does what an operator tells it, even if that person has no idea how it works.
So Comstar.
Comstar, tech readout 2750.
Yeah, but 2750. But Comstar, they pray before their machines. Oh, great machine, please work today. Boop.
Look, boop. The Omnissiah is wise and benevolent. Oh wait, no, that's 40K. Sorry. Each item is further classified according to availability. The item is either common, unusual, rare, or not available. This classification applies exclusively to use by Mechwarriors. That is, certain items might be available to others, but not to Mechwarriors. For instance, Comstar equipment. Then again, it might be totally impossible for non-Mechwarriors to obtain other items, such as PPCs. Game masters must take note of these crucial distinctions. The rigid stratification and feudalization of the successor states has created a society of haves and have-nots. What do you mean created? There's always haves and have-nots. Anyway.
I want to know, so the Mechwarrior himself has to go purchase his own dang PPC? Screw that. I'm sending the quartermaster to go do that.
The Mechwarrior is going to know which is the good PPC. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. Leaders and the lead. In the Inner Sphere, real power equates directly to possession of technology, the most obvious examples of which are battle mechs, jump ships, and weaponry. All right. Okay. You know what? I think what we'll do is we'll take like a category and then like 1 or 2 items. So medical equipment. Medical technology reached its height about 2 centuries before the era of the successor states, increasing the average lifespan to nearly 115 years through advanced diagnostic, preventative, and surgical techniques. In addition, techniques such as myomer implantation gained widespread use, further extending the capabilities of the human body. In the present, however, medical technology is focused on emergency procedures needed for battlefield conditions. So, now is how I would kind of equate it.
I mean, we can 3D print hearts, can they?
I'm going to guess no.
So we have better technology than Battletech. And it keeps referencing 20th century. I mean, are we talking Messerschmitts here?
I would say we're talking 1980s and 1980s to 2000s. Flies. Yes.
Awesome.
So let's see. All right, I'm going to look at the field surgery kit. This kit contains 2 laser scalpels and the surgical support equipment necessary to provide level 3 medical care. The equipment also includes at least 1 preserving sleeve. The headquarters or support unit of every mech company usually carries a field surgery kit. So
the important thing about that, though, is 2C. What does 2C mean?
Well, that means it's medium tech, so 20th century technology, and it's very common. We talked about that.
Very common?
Or it is common.
I didn't see a V in there, sir.
Dantic jackass.
Oh, you didn't think those little snipes earlier were going to go unchallenged, did you?
That's fair. That's fair. All right. What else should we look at?
Or
are you reading my screen?
Yeah, I'm only seeing your screen right now. I've got my book over here. I can go to the page. Just tell me what page it is.
31.
Okay, riot duty. Equipment. There we go. Is there anything on here? Not really. I mean, for me in this, just knowing what that 2C meant is probably the most important thing and how it's written in there. We got repair equipment next.
Actually, look at the mid, the myomere implantation device.
Okay, well, I'll look at it on your screen then. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
All right. MIDI music. The myomere oh my God, implantation. I wanted to say implementation. It's implantation. It says it right there in English. I can do this. I got 3 words
are
in.
Easy.
I got 3 words in and screwed it up. That's how you have a live stream. The myomere implantation device is a Star League era technological item.
Max is not doing well on furlough, folks.
No, I'm not. I've been reading a lot, strangely. We won't get into that. That replaces or repairs damaged but still attached human musculature with myomer fibers. The technology underlying the MID is now lost, making the device an advanced tech black box. Periods inside. Oh my God. To use the device, the operator places a length of myomer fiber in the receptacle and clamps the MID to the damaged area of the patient, then follows the directions, hopefully in your language. If the MID does its work properly, the affected area, any hit location area on the body except the head, is restored to full strength and will appear completely undamaged. This game needs Battlelords of the 23rd Century's head in a box. That is an actual life-saving item where you can bring a head in a box back to a Zenragellan, and that Zenragellan uses voodoo magic or whatever the heck it is that those space creatures use, and they make your body come back, sir.
So we need to go find the bird people and
no, not we need to find the Zenragellan. All right, unfortunately about 20%, a roll of 10, 11, or 12 on 2d6 of these devices malfunctions horribly when used. That's 1 in 5. I want you to think about that for a second. Doing 1d6 plus 6 points of damage to the affected area, which is already murderfied, basically. It's hanging on by a string and a bone. Despite the potential hazard, nearly all these units are at least 2 centuries old. Most mech battalions will have at least 1 MID. Device weighs 2 kilograms. This is why there are a lot of peg leg people in Battletech.
Right, which I do think it's funny. The device malfunctions horribly, doing damage, and then ceasing to function. So it's like you have this old piece of Star League tech. We think it'll work. Maybe.
Clap that baby on. Whoom, 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 whoom.
I know, right? But that is also tech level 4 and rare. So
can they make it like non-existent? Just give me a tourniquet.
Well, no, but so remember the myomer implantation device, that's so that you can, rebuild the muscles.
Yeah, so you can be Steve Austin.
Right.
But if it's going to fail 20% of the time, I don't know if I want to roll those dice.
I mean, would you rather go without an arm?
Yes. Well, no. I look, using a Rifts reference here, I'd be a full conversion Borg as long as I can still think and be me. Oh, cyber me out, baby. I don't care. I'll clunk through everything with a big rail gun on my shoulder. But if there's a 20% chance of doing that will kill me or make me blind or something, you know what? I'll just say flesh and blood. Just let nature take its course.
I don't know. Justin Allard got Myomer implants.
I bet you they didn't use that device because they probably used something from the New Avalon Institute of Science.
That's a distinct possibility. I'm just saying,
especially considering that he was undercover. And did he have? Yeah, he did have to put in when he was going undercover. So they probably gave him the best of the best that the NAIS could offer. And his name is Justin Shang. Get it right. Of course, he was a traitor. Maybe I should go with the Justin Allard thing. He was a traitor.
Until he wasn't, though. Anyways. All right.
Traitor.
Tell us about repair equipment.
Okay. I don't know if I can read. With the steady decline of technology in this era, the skill of repairing and refurbishing equipment has transformed gradually from a science back to an art. Knowledge about specific kinds of equipment and how to repair them is more often handed down from master to apprentice than from teacher to student. Occasionally, the mysteries are shrouded in ritual. From the harmless, experienced tech will always wear the same pair of coveralls, even if they're threadbare, to the absurd. Before attempting to fix any HPG, a Comstar tech must desanctify the equipment by reading a litany from an ancient manual. Told you. Further, because techs are often working with tools developed 2 to 3 centuries ago, they revere the tools themselves out of all proportion to their true function. It is as if the tech believes the tools accomplish a task rather than the wielder. Oh, great hammer, I use you to pound his head in. I'm going to get Gregorian chant music in the background for my Aztec.
I mean, like in some incense.
Sandalwood, sir. Fusion kit. We want to know about that.
Okay. Tell us about the fusion kit.
The fusion kit. Something we can't get today. This equipment includes shielding and remote control apparatus required to service and repair fusion engines. It weighs 1,000 kilograms. And if I do my math on that, that's a lot.
So, I mean, obviously we're just going to.
Well, we talked a little bit last week.
Obviously, it's going to be built into the drop ship.
Well, it just says fusion. Well, maybe it could be on a truck. I mean, they have repair vehicles. It's 1,000 kilograms. So,
that's true.
So would that be 2.2 thousand pounds? So basically, it's a ton.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you could put that maybe on the back. But the thing is, it's repairing an engine. It doesn't say how. Is it just a bunch of, like, cables and welding torches and, I don't know, tungsten or something that you just lift up in there and do, like...
I would say, think of, like, a box truck for, like, an electrician. You know,
yeah, there you go.
That's...
You know what's interesting about this table? Because you're hovering over that. Is... Okay. Name a game nowadays that makes you have all these different types of equipment to fix stuff. I like this because now I'm not trying to be realistic 100% of the time, but a mech isn't like, peeing in your radiator to get a few more miles out of it. Like it's a war machine. You know?
Well, and let's be honest, like you wouldn't have like you'd have an armor tech, you'd have an engine tech, you'd have, an actuator tech. They're not.
Well, theoretically, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to stay with the premise of the game. You are right for the real world. I'm trying to stay with the premise of the game where, oh my God, everything, it's more art than science now. So you duct tape as well as anybody else.
Yeah, no. I'm talking. I'm absolutely talking like for the unit.
Kind of like a assembly line. Well, repair line.
Well, not necessarily like a repair line. It's like, oh, hey, so we just got back from the mission and my mech has some actuator problems. Well, I'm not going to call Dave the generic tech. I'm going to call Steve, the actuator tech. And you came in and the mech's fine, but just the armor's all busted up. So you're going to call, Sally the armor tech.
Well, Steve and Sally are out fornicating. They went AWOL.
Well, I mean,
you're stuck with Dave.
Well, then
Dave's
Dave's going to
not
have to
here,
look at the
man.
table and see if the toolkit that he has will actually work for what he's trying to do.
See, he's not doing the work. This game is trying to sell you that the technocracy isn't real. The technocracy is real. The technology, tech be for religion. Techno osophy. I'm gonna start making up more words.
Technopapacy. There we go.
Technopapers. It's like Comstar actually. You just proved it. Comstar has it right. I am now going to start worshiping my drill. Oh, please, great drill, make a hole. Amen.
And it got awkward. All right. Let's see. I'm going to look at the repair platform.
Oh, why do you get the cool stuff?
You're the one that picked the reactor kit.
That's
all
tired
right.
of this finger pointing.
All right. Tech level 3, common availability, unless equipped with radiation shielding, at which point it becomes uncommon. As a mech unit travels from place to place, it will acquire certain useful equipment, often scavenged from abandoned or destroyed industrial sites. One of the most common non-military items is a repair platform. This device is generally mounted on a wheeled vehicle with a hydraulically powered support that lifts a wide contained compartment 10 to 20 meters in the air. The repair platform is equipped with devices such as welders and grippers, which allow techs to repair damaged mechs, replace portions of their armor or anatomy, and so forth, even before the extreme heat generated by the battle has diffused. The compartment is also proof against most harmful radiation, thus permitting a tech to remove or replace a malfunctioning fusion reactor. All mechs carry tool, cutting, joining, and elect kits. They are usually located in torso storage compartments. Internal damage to a mech's torso will probably destroy some of the repair equipment. What? Oh, okay. Brain shut off for a second. I'm reading about this repair platform.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things that's never been put into like a Battletech mech or game or whatever. It's pure fluff. Because have you ever drafted up a mech and been like, well, there's my repair compartment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. I haven't.
Or no. I meant, yeah, I agree with you. That why is it
So now from this point forward, anytime you play Battletech, you have to mark off 2 internal locations in the center torso and say, if these two are hit, these are my my repair tools.
Right, but this is also just kind of like a dumb thing to throw in. Hey, repair platform. This is what the repair platform is. By the way, all mechs carry tool, cutting, joining, and elect kits. They're usually located in torso storage compartments. Internal damage to a mech's torso will probably destroy some of the repair equipment. So,
well, what if your mech is metric and mine is imperial? You're going to have to come with your own tools.
I mean, it's still dumb. Because then it goes, the sensor fusion and gyro kits and the repair platforms are only located in secure locations such as drop ships, headquarter units, and repair and maintenance depot. Okay, this seems like there should have been like a gap right here.
Yeah.
To like so basically just these 2 paragraphs relate to the repair platform. Oh, good old 1980s.
Hey, but you know what?
Publishing.
There's one thing that the Mechwarrior games have taught me is, one, you don't actually need people, and you can stand in there for 5 seconds and your mech is back to fighting shape.
That's fair. I mean, works for me. I mean, a good dice roll and suddenly you're back to fighting standards. All right. Life support. Is this a piece of... I think this is a piece.
I think life support's pretty important.
Yeah. Over the centuries of interstellar expansion, man has encountered a wide variety of environments, climatic conditions, and atmospheric situations. Only a small percentage of discovered worlds were as accommodating to human life as Terra, and so many kinds of life support devices have been developed to deal with unusual or even hostile biospheres. Mech warriors are generally unaffected by environments, as their mechs are proof against extremes of temperature and atmosphere. However, a mech company does need ready access to several types of life support equipment for personnel operating outside of a battle mech. All right, now's where we get the color plates, but we're going to come back to that.
Older BattleTech handled that so much better. You look at was it Decision at Thunder Rift? You had that the planet with the 36-hour days. Well, actually using the same series. You had the domes on Helm.
Yeah,
it's like you don't, at least from what I remember, when it came to any series pretty much after that, all the planets are just like, yeah, you just kind of fly in and you just land and you do your thing, and it's like being on Earth.
Right. It's Earth. It's got roughly a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that like I get why they do it. You know, just because we're already used to it and it just makes it easier. But you're right. They did try a lot harder.
Yeah, and like, neither of those books harped. I mean, Helm was a little bit more, but that's because the domes were destroyed. So that became an issue. But even for what was the name of the planet that for Decision at Thunder Rift? I cannot think of it off the top of
Trell-1.
Trell-1. Yeah. Trell-1. Thank you. Even that planet, yeah, they mentioned it in how the 36-hour day and you had to get used to it, whatever. But I mean, they didn't dwell on it, but it was enough to make you remember, like, oh yeah, this planet's weird. Every now and again, and be like, hey, the sun isn't setting right, or you get what I'm saying, right?
Right.
It was just enough to be like, okay, that makes sense. You're on a different world. All right.
Right, exactly. It adds some extra world building. Like another, like one thing that frustrates me in like Dungeons and Dragons, like every single time, you know, like they're like, oh, there's 12 months. Oh, there's 7 days in a week. Oh, you know, like it just like mapped onto ours, which also does kind of annoy me because it's like, did you realize that 28 days goes into 365 13 times plus 1 or 2 days?
Sure. I'm not going to try to correct your math on that. If
it comes out to like 364, I think. Anyways, but my point is, so why, if you want to do 7-day weeks, 4-week months, you know, just quote unquote, like we do, you know, here on Earth, why didn't you keep it to more or less a 365-day year and do 13 months? Anyways, just a pet peeve of mine.
Can you ban Sep0319 for his traitorous comment?
I don't know. I think he's speaking some words of wisdom there.
Nope. Davian sympathizer. If you want, once Davian, always Davian.
And
Davian's the enemy. They don't actually understand. Do I have to read at the end of this? Do I have to read the Corvin Doctrine to you?
I mean, maybe.
Man. That's your next wiki. I want you on your next, I don't even know if it's in a wiki, but I want you in your next wiki, the Sarna Mandate, the Corvin Doctrine, and the Lorix Order. Those are the three things, those are the three tenets of the Capellan Confederation that every good Capellan citizen must know and abide by.
How do I spell Corvin Doctrine?
Korvin.
K-O-R. Corvin Doctrine. Oh, that's like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, it's not long. None of them are long.
The Sarna Mandate and the Lorix Order?
Yes.
All right, maybe I could do like a joint.
If I remember correctly, it was a Major Kevlar, something like that. Lorix, she was a female Mechwarrior, and she came up with that Lorix Order that basically says that the universe just can't exist properly without the Liao at the head of it.
I mean, that's definitely a take. All right, so we need to talk about a couple of life support systems. So we've got filter mask and respirators, light environment suits, and hostile environment suits. Any of those seem particularly interesting to you?
Well, let's read about our COVID masks, sir.
All right. So the filter, mask, and respirator.
Apparently, they're more common in the BattleTech universe than they were here for about a year.
I mean, space COVID is a lot more serious, so they had to have more masks.
Oh, they were
available.
prepared. Got it.
Yeah. All right. Tell us about said filter mask.
Oh, okay. Filter mask respirator. It's one, which means it's low tech. It's just a wet cloth over your nose, and it's pretty common. Look at that, a C for common. So you can find that wet cloth pretty much anywhere.
I was gonna say, almost like you could make it out of a t-shirt.
Almost like you could. Almost. A filter mask is designed to remove trace impurities from breathable atmospheres. The atmosphere itself need not be contaminated or tainted per se. For example, a filter mask would be of use on a battlefield whose atmosphere was filled with smoke and debris from previous combat. A respirator permits breathing when no breathable, uncontaminated atmosphere is available. For example, a filter mask would be useless in a vacuum situation, whereas a respirator would permit the user to breathe normally. The same would be true for underwater or high-altitude situations. Both filter masks and respirators have limitations, or a piece of lead. Wow. The filter portion of a filter mask is disposable, like me, and must be replaced once every 24 hours, again, like me, in extremely contaminated environments, and once per 48 to 72 hours if you're generous, in a more benign environment. Game Master's discretion. The breathing tanks for the respirator, generally worn strapped on the back, provide only 4 hours of breathable air before they're empty. The mask weighs 300 to 500 grams. What is that in real units? And the breathing tank is 1 to 3 kilograms.
So 500 grams is about a pound.
Yeah, just a touch over, yeah.
Yeah, so you're looking at about a pound, less than 10 pounds total is how I would put it. Mask, the tank.
Extra filters.
Extra filters, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, so, but this is pretty simple. I mean, basically, is it contaminated or is it just dust? You know.
Yeah, the reason I thought this was important though is just remember, I mean, one we were already talking about, the worlds they're different worlds. They're gonna have different potentially different atmospheres, but also great adventures come out of the idea of a toxic spill. And how do you deal with that?
Well, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a toxic spill. It can just be something like we were talking about earlier with Trellwan. Trellwan has a 36-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you know, it's not anything complicated, but it's something that you can add to give some flavor to the environment. Hey, you're on a world. Guess what? You know, it's not toxic, but there is constant dust in the air. Okay. You will struggle to breathe if you don't have your breathing regulator. You can now introduce complications. You lost it, you damaged it, you ran out of air.
So basically you're on Mars.
Yeah. So
or Kuwait.
Or Kuwait.
I say that as somebody who lived in Kuwait for a year or so.
Right, but Kuwait also has the camel poop. That might be toxic.
I think the fact that they dump the waste right into the ocean right there in front of everybody against IPA regulations is more toxic, but hey, and I got to smell it every night.
You know what you needed?
For such a rich country, a piece of lettuce.
No, but again, like I said, you're right in that, yes, you could use a toxic environment as a setting, but again, just telling the players, hey, don't forget, you're gonna need a filter on this world.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have short-term, long-term, like you've got your filter. Maybe short-term exposure isn't a big deal for maybe like 5-10 minutes or something, but after that, the little particles start adding up. You start wiping yourself off and cleaning your face, and then maybe after an hour or so you start hacking.
Yeah, maybe at that point you would need a hostile environment suit.
Why so hostile?
I was just
you want to read it, or
no, I'm going to read it. I was just throwing it out there as a transition.
Why can't we have the friendly environment suit?
Because that's called clothes.
Oh. Well, that depends, sir.
It's called clothes.
Extra for you. Oh,
The hostile. All right, this is a tech level 3 common item. So basically, Star League era. The hostile environment suit weighs 20 kilograms. It is similar to diving suits used in deep ocean exploration and is intended for use in extremely hostile environments where temperatures or pressures vary widely from Earth normal. A hostile environment suit is partially powered by actuators and myomers similar to those on a battle mech, but at a smaller scale. There are often tools built into the extremities of the suit. The hostile environment suit will easily withstand normal slug throwing and melee weapons and will modify laser attacks. See combat. So, proto elementals.
They tested out the theory here, and then this might work.
Right. I mean, if the elementals ever existed, which they don't, right, Max?
Earth, water, fire. Yeah. I summon them all the time.
I meant the elemental combat suit.
Undines, sylphs, salamanders, and what's gnomes. No, seriously, that's what the earth elemental is. It's called a gnome. A lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that. But that's also a different game.
I'm talking real world. What are you talking about?
I don't know anymore.
They have robotics? I can be a robot?
Or Captain Planet. All right, tell us about robotics.
Oh, I can talk about robotics. Awesome. Robotics. There were originally 2 reasons for designing robotic equipment. Well, we know what one of them is. The Japanese are doing it right now. First, robots can do simple and repetitive tasks without growing wary or inattentive. Second, robots can perform tasks in environments hostile to man without being affected by atmospheric gravity. That meant a larger number of planets could be exploited through the use of robotics. Although some robots were previously equipped with limited artificial intelligence, the technology has now been lost. Therefore, robots are sometimes capable of independent action, but are generally incapable of independent thought. Several intermediate forms exist at present, from the power-assist robotic technology of exoskeletons to the mech-like agrobots with human pilots. Note! As most of these are rare, it is unusual for a mech unit to possess one. However, all of these robotics have been used to fight mechs at one time or another during the succession wars by rebels or opponents who had no mechs of their own. One of the very, very few, maybe on one finger, things that I can count that I liked from Mechwarrior Dark Age was the fact that they actually utilized more forest mechs, logger mechs, and things like that had always been talked about in old Battletech, but never actually implemented. I can't think of anything else I liked about Mechwarrior Dark Age. But that one thing I really did. I'm like, that's the way it should have been from the jump.
That's the way it was from the jump, and that's the thing I hated most about Mechwarrior Dark Age. Do you have any idea how disappointing it was to go and buy a random pack of Mechwarrior Dark Age, and you open it up and get greeted by the bright yellow glare of an industrial mech?
Yeah, no. Well, okay, so wait, which part of it? So I know it was from the jump in Mechwarrior Dark Age. It should have been the jump from 3025, from original Battletech. Because if you read the lore, everything's most everything is hodgepodge. Whatever happened with when I don't know how this happened, but once they found the core, and then AIS figured out how to make some technology, and then it got spilled out, and actually I think they were forced to send copies of it. All of a sudden, mechs are just popping up everywhere. You get a mech, and you get a mech, and you get a mech. It was weird. Before then, people had these mechs for 200-300 years, have been in the family, all types of jury rig problems, weapons that weren't matching, targeting computers that were, flipping around, acting all weird. A lot of mechs were actually forest or industrial or logger mechs that had a gun slapped on them. Go get them, Ray. And I really wish that would have been promoted more instead of the whole build a mech nonsense that it became. And if they would have made the lore, and by the way, I do this with other games as well. If you write lore and you write fluff, make the game work around that or work with it. This is one of the reasons why when we did games, we did a lot of games where we'd have like 3 or 4 tanks and 1 mech, because mechs are supposed to be rare.
Yeah, no, and that's actually a really good point that I didn't think about. That yeah, when I first when you look at the early BattleTech stuff, nope, there's tanks, there's mechs, there's everything. It's all available. You know, the forestry mech, you know, going after, or being sent into combat with its giant chainsaw.
And a strapped-on autocannon that fires 3 times, then jams or spills its ammo or something. Yeah,
right, which was not brought up at all.
it was in a couple of the earlier novels. I want to say I think the Trellwan one had a decision at Thunder Rift, and I think the Price of Glory also, if I remember correctly. I forget if the middle book had that, the Verthandi Mercenary Star. It's been a long time since I've read those.
I
understand why. By the way, I understand why the Stackpole books didn't have that, because he was actually talking mostly about organized military.
Right.
But when you're on these backwater planets and you're a mercenary with a lance, your lance is God.
Right.
But it's just a locust and a stinger and a phoenix hawk and maybe a marauder. Uh-huh. like that is the epitome. That is technology. You should be worshiping. You should be on that marauder's foot. Goes, thank you for not stepping on me today, dear marauder, sir. And I hope to agree. Please bless me without blasting me in the face with a PPC. That would be very nice. Those are supposed to be the epitome, because your village, because the marauder is going to take 4 days to get there. It has 4-6 movement rate, and the drop ship that they're still repairing. So yeah, you have a forestry mech to stop the bandits from doing something near your village. That would have been so much fun.
I don't disagree, and I think I would have accepted it better in Dark Age. I'm just talking from buying the figures in a collectible aspect, and the choice is either an Atlas, which is cool, but you don't know because it's all random, or the the forestry mech, painted bright yellow, construction yellow. Like that was $10 not well spent.
Yeah, I completely despised the whole collectible aspect of that game. I mean, I know that it was based on Mage Knight, and I also understand that they're trying to, to do the whole was it Magic the Gathering thing. I only wanted 2 factions: Capellan Confederation and what was it called? It was Spirit Cats. Right. That's it. I only wanted those 2. I didn't care, but I actually ended up giving them all away. I think I kept 1 Capellan mech, but I ended up giving them all away when I left Germany.
Well, they didn't even have Capellan when the game launched. It didn't come out for like 4 or 5 sets.
But even then, I had to have Iron Hammer or whatever their stupid names were, and like all these dumb names I didn't recognize because I don't care. I don't do collectibles. I want my Capellan unit. I don't want some random jackass unit. Give me my Capellan unit. I'm not going to buy 75 of your stupid boxes to make that happen.
I bought so many boxes, but we won't talk about that anymore. Anyways, but it did give that whole feel where you had, like, okay, so they swords to plowshares kind of a thing, but yeah, you had the forestry mech and they strapped an autocannon onto it, and suddenly it's like, okay,
and I know a book that can actually give you decent rules on how to do that. It's back there, and I showed it off a bunch of times in the previous video.
Let's see.
We are never going to get through this book, are we?
You know what? You're furloughed. It's all good. I'm just saying we've got time. Let's see. You know what? Let's look at security robots.
Well, let's look at his stats. Yeah.
All right. A mobile watchdog robot with limited pattern recognition capability. This is tech level 4 and rare. Security robots have been used to guard against casual intrusion. Due to their complexity, they are rarely encountered beyond former Star League facilities and will tend to treat any encountered person or vehicle as an intruder. So, if you want to give your players access to a Helm memory core or some other Star League fortress that they found on this backwater world, here are the security systems that they're going to have to beat. So let's see. Type security robot, which it basically looks like it's kind of a tiny little mech. 6 tons, hover movement, cruising speed of 12, flank speed of 18.
Wow.
Let's see, control. So robotic control, lift equipment, no power amplifier, 10 heat sinks, a turret, 1 ton of armor, with 3 points of armor on the front, 3 points on the right and left side, 3 on the back, and 4 in the turret. And it has 2 small lasers. So basically it's a little hover. It's a okay, let's be honest. If you're gonna have this, why not just take a Savannah Master?
Well, probably price. But
I mean, a Savannah Master is an engine and a hover platform.
I'll take an
and a medium
FPV
laser.
drone.
I mean, it's already 6 tons.
Yeah, but does a Savannah Master go 18?
Something like that. It's ridiculous.
I thought it was 812. Because remember, the modifiers stop at 10 plus. It's just 10 plus. There's no more modifier after that. I'm in the middle of a live stream. You need to get the hell away. And if he wants to eat you, well, too bad, your food.
Savannah Master has a top speed of 216 kilometers an hour.
Okay, yeah, but what is that in terms of hexes?
Well, so that would be a flank speed of about 21.
I don't remember the Savannah Master going that fast.
I think it is.
Most beat up book because it's like one of my few originals from. I didn't have to rebuy. Savannah Master. Savannah Master hovercraft goes 1320. Okay, well, guess what? I've been done corrected.
And I was just guessing.
260, 13. I don't remember going that fast. Holy crap. Could you imagine failing that piloting skill roll on a city after a turn? I sandpapered a freaking spider into nothingness. This thing would just be like, I'm out, and just keep floating.
Right, but that's the whole thing, is they cost nothing, they weigh nothing, and you can take 1,000 of them, and they've got medium lasers.
And sensors that did nothing.
Yep.
A 1/4 ton of sensors that they didn't have rules for.
Anyways, regardless, so basically you have a security Savannah Master. All right, we then have agricultural robots, both big and small.
Holy crap!
What?
Look at that armor.
For the large agricultural robot?
Yeah, right, left side, 220, front 260?
Tonnage, 160. So, that's interesting, because, I mean, again, like everything is always, capped out at 100 tons.
So if I remember the lore correctly, battle mechs were capped at 100 tons for whatever reason. I forget what the fluff reason was.
Mechs, tanks, and aerospace fighters all were.
Well, no. Well, let me put it this way. Combat vehicles.
Right.
Combat vehicles were, but it did talk about there being bigger mechs, but they couldn't get them off planet. They had to be like built in place, blah, blah, blah. I forget where I read that, but there's more to it. I just don't remember it all. But I remember there being talk about that, especially since internal combustion. Yeah, that has an internal combustion engine. Were just so crazy heavy.
I mean, let's be honest. Large agricultural robot. It's a combine.
Yeah.
It's for harvesting.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it literally says combine that weighs 23 tons.
Oh, I didn't read that, but yeah, there you go. No, and actually, that's the thing that did always kind of confuse or like. Anyways, I always assumed 100 tons was like massive and ridiculous. And then, like, literally within the last couple of years, I actually bothered to look and realize that an M1 Abrams is like
60
60 to
tons.
60 to 70 tons. And it drives on a road just fine. So it's like, huh.
So just for the folks out there, I agree with where Brian's going with this, but understand that a lot of these considerations were done solely for the purposes of one, being able to make the game aspect of it. Now we can make mechs better. It's the same reason for ranges of weapons. You know, I was kind of a squinty eye face a little earlier. Really? When we were reading something earlier, because like, oh, it's 20th century technology, and is that why my gun can only shoot 700 meters? I mean, come on now. But the whole point of that was they were taking something that they wanted you to be able to play on your tabletop, not out in your backyard or have to take up the entire park in order to play. And I accept that for what it is meant to be. Is it reality? No. Does it make for fun gameplay? Yes.
Right. Exactly. The whole point is, yeah, the large agricultural robot, yes, it's a combine.
And look, it goes the same speed as an urban mech.
Right. At least it's not going to skid out,
And could you imagine it's chasing down the urban mech and then it runs him over and his combine's like, and the urban mech's getting shot up in a...
Stop getting so excited, Max. But again, you're right. This stuff is for quote unquote playing the game, and not just the role-playing game, like actually putting your mech warriors out, putting them up against the mining robots or the aggro robots.
As much as I hate the construction rules because of what it did to the game, not that they exist, but what it did to how the game is implemented, we'll just say, the construction rules were fantastic.
Yeah. So, all right, security systems. Over the course of human history, considerable effort and attention has been devoted to many forms of security. Computers and data storage facilities require informational security. Commercial facilities need security against theft of goods or services or secrets. Finally, nations and solar systems must have internal security to protect against intruders or, uprisings or, what do you call them in Capellan space?
Call what?
For internal security, you need...
Oh, the Maskarovka?
No. You need to protect against, the riffraff, the uprising.
Riffraff? We send them all back to the Federated Suns.
We send them back to the mines.
No, we want our healthy and powerful citizens working in the mines doing the Capellans work. Riffraff is just space them.
Both private citizens and mech units need security too, as they are threatened by a wide range of predators, from occasional thieves to pirates and bandit kings. In the successor states era, power is based on the possession of certain material goods. Without the legalistic veneer of civilization, possession becomes the 9/10 of the law. Security systems can be divided according to the object or areas they are designed to protect. Although it is impossible to provide a complete list of all the myriad locks, intrusion, alert devices, and policing systems used in the inner sphere, a small sampling follows. All right, so obviously we should talk about battle mech security.
Okay.
The key to piloting a battle mech is correct use of a neuro helmet, which enhances impulses from the pilot's body to produce the desired action in the mech. To unlock a mech neuro helmet, the pilot transmits a series of motions or thoughts in a particular sequence that is usually quite short. It might be, for example, raise right hand, turn head to left, and look at the heat level indicator for a count of 4. Although a more complex sequence might be more secure, it would inhibit the mech pilot from rapidly starting up his machine. The unlocking sequence prevents an unauthorized individual from using the mech simply because he has climbed in and donned the helmet. Further failure to transmit the proper sequence can result in damage to the helmet or the wearer. The sophisticated mechanism was developed to break through neural helmet encoding. The code breaker, tech level 4 uncommon, is shaped roughly like a human head, but contains a complex computer system tied to electrodes. It requires 30 to 60 minutes to decode and transmit the sequence that will unlock the helmet. Few of these code-breaking devices are available, and so neural helmet encoding is proof against casual thieves. That I find interesting. I always thought the encoding was to unlock the mech, not the helmet.
Well, you can't really pilot the mech without the helmet. I mean, theoretically, you kind of can, but not really.
That's fair. I just didn't realize that it was the helmet that was being unlocked.
One of the issues that I have, again, with modern Battletech and every single implementation of every computer game ever to do with Battletech is the misrepresentation of the neuro helmet. It's not a little helmet that you put on like an Apache pilot, and you slap it on, and you've got all your HUD and everything on there. This thing is a big monstrosity that's there to read your brain.
It's a house on your head.
Yes, but they never represent it like that. I get if like the clans don't have that, if they have like, you know, more skimpy ones or some crap, but I'm sure there are pictures in here somewhere of somebody wearing a neural helmet, especially back with the color pictures. I'm sure I remember one, but yeah, I hate that representation. Like it's just a flight helmet. No, that thing goes clunk, and you're like, oh geez, you're like Darth Vader in this thing.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things that like it. They still kind of went, you know, the skimpy size on the neuro helmets in the cartoon. But yeah, that was one of the things that they made the difference, where the Innersphere, no, they've got these bigger helmets. They were still kind of bulky, but I do remember them being much more convenient than was presented in the actual fiction. Whereas the clans actually had like the enhanced the
tattoo magic
tattoos,
that every good person disavows.
Apparently, I'm not a good person.
Nope, not if you're okay with tattoo magic in BattleTech. Stuff was ridiculous.
I love BattleTech tattoo magic.
I used to, you know what's funny is I had the first Somerset Striker book. I must have gotten rid of it or burned it or something, because it's not there. And I know in fact, at one point I had 2 copies of that stupid book many years ago. I'm sure I gave one away, because I usually do that when I have extras. Like, oh crap, I didn't know I have extras here. Have one. But I'm missing my copy. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it.
Hey man, absolutely a product of its time. And I'm glad that it exists.
That makes none of us.
That makes none of us. Tell us about another piece of security, Max.
Screw the facility, lock breaking, solar system. I want solar system security.
Solar system security.
You know what you need? You need a Bastion space station. Look it up. Solar system security. In the Starlink era, every jump-capable vessel broadcasted a unique ID, just as the law of the sea once required Earthships to make continuous broadcasts of their ID. During the era of the Succession Warlords, however, a ship in space cannot be readily identified by visual or radar scan, and so houses need a way to tell friend from foe by inspection. Each house has developed a series of encoding patterns reflecting the current official code. To forge an ID beacon, a player character must have both forgery and electronic skill. The quality of the forgery is the average of the 2 skills. The number is also used as a negative modifier to a special skill roll made when entering a system. The base target number for this roll is 8. Other modifiers include the presence of military craft, +2, and +1 for each tech level of the beacon system. If the roll succeeds, the beacon is accepted as normal. If the roll fails, the beacon is detected as fake, leaving the broadcasting ship to suffer the consequences.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, wow. It's tactically difficult to make a sneak attack on a world from interstellar space. What? If the world's defenders can detect it. There are, in fact, several ways that the defending ships can do so. Yeah, just be like this asteroid that's about to crash into us and take us over. Was that Omamura? No, that was the other one. Anyway, that's all you have to do. Or make whale sounds and come and make the oceans go away. First, the Kearney Fushida hyperdrive produces an echo at the destination system. It travels at the speed of light and can be read by deep radar.
Tech 4
I got
uncommon.
to read this, but I have some severe issues with that sentence right there. Okay. First, the Kearney Fushida hyperdrive produces an echo at the destination system. It travels at the speed of light and can be read by deep radar developed in late Star League period. Deep radar units were usually located at naval bases or recharging stations at jump points and could detect the number and approximate mass of arriving vessels. Secondly, properly focused IR equipment could sense the heat shadow of arriving vessels. The problem, of course, is that it does not indicate the arrival of ships, but merely that they have already arrived. IR does, however, provide significantly more information about the incoming vessels as a higher degree of accuracy than the more experimental deep radar. Okay. While reading that, I let my brain recharge a moment there, and I guess I'll accept it. Here's my issue: is it said that it produces an echo at the destination that travels at the speed of light. I'm like, yeah, but a jump travels faster than the speed of light. But I guess it emanates at that destination point and then goes out at the speed of light.
That's how I would like. It's not generated from the starting point. I'd call it sort of like like a pre-jump.
Sure. No, I get what it's trying to say, but that's how I originally visualized it. Is like we power up the KF drives, we're ready to go, and it shoots out that burst. I wasn't picking up on the fact that that the actual burst emanates from the destination. Then I'm like, okay, that actually makes more sense once I let my brain like sit on that for a moment.
Or you could look at it like say that the jump is punching a hole from your current location to the destination.
What if you miss jump? Would the echo be in the miss jump location, or would the echo be?
I would say it's in the miss jump location. Yeah, because it like I said, so the way that I'm kind of envisioning it, so you've got your jump drive, it punches a hole from your starting location to your destination. And so essentially that echo is that hole being ripped open that the ship's going to come through.
Please don't rip holes in the universe. I live here.
I mean, you got to get around somehow. So anyways, that's kind of how I would visualize it.
That's probably right.
But yeah, I like. I'd never read about this piece of tech in BattleTech, and I like that. Just we're detecting incoming jumps. We've got 6 jump ships coming, but then you don't know anything about them, until they actually show up. You just know that there are holes open and something.
You have enough time to scramble the aerospace fighters.
Exactly. So, all right, personal equipment. Armor,
manpack PPC. I don't think it's in this book.
That's probably under weapons.
No, I'm pretty sure it might be in this book, but I'm pretty sure I actually think it's in this one.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna. Oh, here we'll read the Scanalyzer, because otherwise, I mean, personal armor, rangefinder, binoculars. If you don't know what these are, folks,
hold on. What's a Kudgel?
Cudgel.
Oh.
Well, that's under weapons, but here, a Scanalyzer. The Scanalyzer accepts a sample of any organic or inorganic substance fed into it, then produces a list of the substance's elemental or molecular components, as well as a precise indication of the substance's flash and melting points, conductivity, and radioactivity. The device is approximately 80 centimeters by 50 centimeters and weighs 30 kilograms. Although the Scanalyzer is an extremely powerful analytical tool, it is useful only to those who have the engineering, medical, or computer skill to interpret its output. It's a tricorder.
Yes.
All
Sorry,
right.
sir. It's a Scanalyzer. No copywritten material here.
All right. We've got primitive. We've got melee weapons, daggers, knives, cudgels, swords, bayonets. Powered melee weapons. Do we want to look at these?
I mean, I think we know what vibro weapons are. That's the main one that's used in BattleTech. What is that primitive missile? No, neural whip. Those are talked about, but very rarely used. Like, I don't remember actually seeing those. I don't know. I don't see anything to talk about here, but if you think that we should pick one weapon, we can pick one.
Nope.
I mean,
Let's see.
these are guns. These are bows. These are...
Right. Bows, guns.
If they have it here, a needler would probably be interesting to talk about.
Let's see here. Gyrojet rifle.
Something that was, my God, old BattleTech loved, and then they kind of removed it from the game and then brought it back. They don't have needlers? Wait, scroll back up for a second.
Doesn't look like they have needlers.
A sonic stunner, other trank. Oh, wow. Wow, because the needler is that's really iconic. Slug throwing rifle. Yeah, okay. Screw this book.
Gyrojet rocket powered bullets.
Which can act by the way, gyrojets in the real world just don't work well. That's why we never have them, but apparently they perfect them then. But if I remember correctly, the gyrojet rifle can hurt a mech on a roll of a 2 or a 12. There should be a chart, so there should be a table somewhere. Here, I got my book.
Probably in the combat section, but yeah, fires projectiles that do not drop off in velocity over distance and deliver explosive damage at their destination. I'd say that's possibly useful against a mech.
What page are you on?
58.
Oh, geez.
Or 56.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. Maybe it's in one of the other books, but I could have sworn that gyrojet rifles can do... You have to roll a 2 or a 12 or something, or a 12, but you can do 1 point of damage to a mech.
Laser weapons, inferno missiles, indirect artillery.
Long toms and snipers, I think, are interesting to talk about because they definitely have much more use now, but I did not see them used a lot back in the day. And I think it's because they didn't really have decent rules for artillery back then. Or fleshed out. Let me put it that way. Fleshed out rules for artillery back then. So maybe and everybody knows the long tom, so I would suggest the sniper, but that's up to you. It's your show, sir.
All right. Well, here, read us about the indirect artillery. We'll just do all the artillery here.
Okay. Artillery is a broad label for the myriad of weapons designed for combating both mechs and vehicles. Indirect fire is conducted with the help of a forward observer located on or near the battlefield. This observer must be trained as an artillery gunner, but can be located anywhere where the target is in view. Indirect artillery has a huge range, totally out of proportion with the range of mechs, vehicle-mounted or infantry weapons. To locate the target usually requires several attempts at ranging fire with the help of an observer. Also, indirect fire is nearly ineffective against a highly mobile opponent, as there is a considerable time delay between firing of a gun and the arrival of the shells. It is best to be used against specific geographic location or heavily defended emplacement. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's one map. It's like one map page, one map section per round.
I think the long tom is 10.
Is it? Okay.
Like 10 maps.
Was that like its full range?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, but it's one map, per round that it actually the travel time of the shell. Well, I mean, we'll probably find out here. I don't know why we're guessing.
All right.
The most common indirect artillery weapon, the Long Tom 3, has an effective maximum range of several BattleTech map sheets. It's extremely heavy and is generally part of a static defense such as that of a fortress or city. When made mobile, and there's one of those lovely guys in this book, the Long Tom is mounted on a large, slow-moving half-track that is itself restricted travel only on specially surfaced roads or railroad lines. A single Long Tom shell will do 20 points of damage to a mech. So you basically have a long-range autocannon 20. Good job.
That's it?
Yeah.
Anyways, the range on a Long Tom is 30 maps.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So.
Well, we should have the sniper next.
And actually does 25 to the target hex, 15 to the second round, and 5 to the third, or not round, 5 to the 15 to the second ring and 5 to the third.
That might be a bit excessive, but okay. It's better than just doing a static 20. I get that. I'm
Right.
just saying, like, but that's like a 90-meter diameter. That's pretty.
And that's current rules.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a bit older.
So the sniper is a smaller, because this one does 10 points of damage if I remember correctly. The sniper is a smaller, more mobile indirect artillery piece that is frequently found supporting or opposing a mech attack. A sniper shell inflicts 10 points of damage to a mech.
Yes, with a range of 18 maps.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not sure why they would drop artillery, like at least this much, giving this much page space to artillery in a game like this.
So, if I remember correctly about artillery, and it's we didn't use it a lot. I tried to, but it's just like Aerotech. Most of the players that I knew just wanted to put stompy robots on the field.
Agreed.
Is first of all, you couldn't destroy them, so they were really annoying. You fire them, you'd write down the hex location, and then forget about it 3 rounds later when the stupid thing was supposed to land. So. And they were never accurate. Like there's just a lot of reasons not to use them in terms of playing a BattleTech game. If you're doing something more siege oriented, I think that they could, if you've got 10 of those things lined up going boom, 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 trying to saturate an area, that could be much more fun. It's just I didn't see that in play. The rules, as you mentioned them, I think those are excessive. I think this is too light. I think yours are too heavy. I think they can have a balance in there somewhere, maybe 20 points in the hex and then 5 or 10 in the surrounding hex or something like that. But even that, because you went a third hex out, right? Yeah, you went 20, 10, or 20, 15,
25,
5.
right, 25, 15, 5.
So that's 30, 60, 90, 150 meters that thing has a blast radius of. Sorry. That's a bit. That's a missile strike now. That's not an artillery strike anymore. But so I think there can be a balance in there to make them more useful. I did, believe it or not, I actually liked the Arrow 4 conceptually. There isn't much of the new 1990, right?
Right.
Technology that I like. But the Arrow 4 was one that I thought was interesting enough to make sense, to kind of bring artillery but put it on a mech.
Right. No, it's definitely an interesting idea. I've never used it. If we had nerds here, she'd probably be like, "Oh, I use blah blah blah." But
I've used it, but not successfully.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the hard part is like doing stuff like this, like artillery is heavily used, but like it says, it's it's using against specific geographical locations. So like I would set it up. I don't know. I kind of wonder, like in a role-playing situation, like okay, we're gonna be able to give you 3 rounds of artillery fire. Well,
so if I remember the rules correctly, and I will let anybody correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, we used it very, very well, really not at all. The shells flew 1 map board per round. The whatever your range is, I don't remember those ranges, but you're probably right, or it was somewhere close enough to that where it doesn't matter. You just placed them off the map. Well,
right.
How many times did you play on we'll just say a map setting that was like 5 map boards long?
Never.
Right. So you couldn't stop them. So even if they were used in defense, you don't use artillery at short range. Use artillery at long range. So that means, how do you incorporate that into your game? Well, I've got Long Tom that's firing. Does that mean I have a future mission coming up that's going to allow me to shut them off, or am I going to go attack that? Whatever. Otherwise, it's just random damage that's thrown out there. And then, like I said, let's say you station them 5 map boards away. They're not real pieces. They don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. So you have to wait 5 rounds before it hits whatever hex.
Right. No, exactly, and that's one of the problems with getting out beyond the mech portion of the game.
And that's what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be gladiatorial fights in mechs. That's really what, if I remember, there was an article, and I think it was by not Weiss and Hickman. Oh my God, Jordan Weisman himself, that talked about the idea behind this was supposed to be kind of gladiatorial combat. So it wasn't meant to be long range anything. They wanted you to play it on the table. We know about that, but they wanted that feel of kind of like two knights going at it.
Right.
But with lasers and missiles and so forth. So the whole idea of artillery kind of breaks it, even if realistic, kind of breaks that.
Right. No, exactly. So that's why I'm saying for the role playing game, I'm kind of wondering, because that would be something that as a game master, I would just be like, okay, you guys are attacking this, geographical location or heavily defended emplacement. Okay, so we're gonna randomly do 3 batches of 20 points of damage because
Yeah, again though, remember I'm looking at this, maybe I'm being too simulationist here, but they would have fired a long time ago. They wouldn't even let you get close. By the time, also correct me if I'm wrong in this one, but I think they have a minimum range of 1 map board too. You guys know how minimum ranges work in BattleTech. So like they're not going to fire at close range. So I guess you're very close to kind of what I would do. What I'd probably do is I'd have it be like, okay, you're not at the city, or you're not at the Hesperus 2 Defiance Industries facility yet, or whatever, but you're near it and you're within range. So before the game even starts, I will write down 10 locations. Every round, 2, for whatever reason, I'm just picking that. Let's say there's 2 long times. Every round, 2 artillery shells are going to drop, already pre-planned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not cheating. I will just open up the little, fold it over. It says, okay, it's at this hex number. Because remember, the maps back then had hex numbers on them. Now if you're playing with a sand table or something, or geohex or whatever, that'd be a little different story. But I'm just saying that's how I would do it if I were to incorporate that. Other than that, there's a little bit too much verisimilitude breaking there, or that suspension of disbelief. Like, oh, the artillery didn't fire until we were 5 feet away from them. Like that doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree, but I mean it's nice that they're adding that they're giving options. I just I don't know. Anyways, I think I'm being too nitpicky here.
Me too.
Let's see. Vehicles. Player characters landing on a successor state world in 3025 will often find a staggering variety of vehicle types and technologies operating side by side on the planet's roads, waterways, and air lanes. The uneven effects of technological decline result in incongruous sights on city streets, such as high-tech fusion-powered vehicles like speeders and air cars, sharing space with conventional internal combustion engine cars and trucks, and even an occasional horse and wagon. Most of the vehicle types described in this section are still manufactured on at least a limited basis. Production of civilian vehicles is often curtailed by the demands of the warlords and their military establishments, however, making the market price for such items artificially high. Except where otherwise noted, all vehicles described below are equipped with internal combustion engines that employ Brayton cycle turbine technology and burn a hydrogen-based solid fuel.
They come with GPS?
I mean, I would say they have GPS, but that's because I'm super used to it. In 1980, I don't think I knew what GPS was.
Oh, no. They I actually got to use some of the first GPS, even for the military back in the early 1990s. Where do I get my Tesla?
Yeah, see that again, that's one of the things with these with games that are this old. It's like, okay, yeah, electric cars should absolutely be a thing.
But on the flip side, where's my Jetson space car?
Right here, jet sled.
not jet sled, Jetsons.
No, which, okay, jet sled, movement type, tracked.
Yeah, isn't that just a snowmobile?
Right?
Ice-powered 20th century. Yeah, it's a snowmobile, yeah. Jets and snowmobiles.
Jet sleds can reach speeds of up to 125 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure. I guess that's really only like 70.
So hold on. I'm from Minnesota. We have snowmobiles all over the place. Absolutely, they can get up to that speed.
All right, fair enough.
I was passed by one that was I was driving 55, 60 on the highway, and he went by me going in the median area of the road. My friend, I won't mention his name, but he's on my Discord, was like, you want me to throw a firework at him? I'm like, no.
The things that you could do back in the 80s without,
When you're 16 and
getting
didn't
shot.
have fear felonies.
Right? Air car. Here's your Jetsons car.
No, I want to fly to work, and I want Spacey Sprockets above the clouds.
Have you heard the fan theory that the Jetsons and the Flintstones take place at the same time?
No, I haven't. So one's above the clouds and one's below the clouds?
Correct.
Kind of like that Star Trek episode? The original series Star Trek episode where they had the miners below ground sniffing in all the rocks and whatnot, and then the people above the clouds are all dressed like, typical Romans and Greeks.
I've watched the episode. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah, essentially. You could say like the Morlocks and the Eloi from Time Machine. But yeah, no, there's a fan theory out there that like basically post-nuclear war, and so the Flintstones are, take place at the same time, because the Jetsons, you never see them go down to the ground.
Yeah.
Like even their parks are all built up above the clouds. So anyways, there's that. All right. All sorts of vehicles, military vehicles, civilian vehicles, tanks.
They got a Vedette tank in there. That's funny. I forgot about that.
Why is that funny?
Because it's a real tank that you should get in a real man's tank book.
I mean, they kind of threw some of everything in here.
Yeah. Oh, Demolisher. Nice.
Yeah. That's a big boy.
I honestly don't even remember that being in the book. I 100% don't remember that. I'm actually surprised to see that.
Striker light tank, Scorpion tank. Pegasus scout tank. Yeah, I mean, this is all.
Now I kind of feel like this book is a ripoff, because like all those tanks are in here, and I don't think there are too many. I mean, there's missing the Ontos. What?
Well, but you're not getting any of the background. I mean, you're getting just like a tiny little silhouette.
Who reads?
You're not getting the full art.
Tank commander such and such did this heroic. Shut up. Nobody reads.
For the record, freshman year of high school, in my English class, we had like mandatory reading time. Yeah, I would straight up just read the tech readout.
Well, I read about Mechwarriors, real heroes, not stupid tank crews.
Look, I don't know if it was necessarily 3026 that I was reading. I just remember that I was reading tech readouts. So, anyways.
They do notable vehicles and crews. I was like, because they took them out of the later books.
Yeah, but they had them in at least the first couple.
Yeah.
All right, then we've got air-based craft, mech components. I mean, again, those are just mech components. I think we can skip a lot of that. Weapon availability and cost.
Can we go through? Wait, did we go through that already?
What?
No, we didn't go through weapon. We went through something else availability, didn't we? Well, so the reason why I think this is somewhat important,
okay,
is because it shows the disparity of the house. We're not going to get into economics again here, but it shows some of the disparities of the house. I do think they did a better job of this a little later on. Maybe it was second edition. Maybe it was one of the other books for first edition. I can't remember. Because if you notice, what it's supposed to look is that the Capellan Confederation, because they're poor, spends a lot of time using weapons with ammo. They also employ a lot of people to make ammo. So that should technically be cheaper, and I'm not sure it so much is cheaper. No, actually, Steiner's, is it?
Well, it can be. So like AC5. So this first section
is that's the availability. Yeah.
Right. And then the second section is the cost multiplier.
Right.
So Liao, actually no, it's not as cheap because Steiner and
Yeah.
Karita
Yeah,
and
so that's
Davia
interesting.
are
But it could
0.7.
just be that everything in the Pelican Federation is more expensive because of how it's run as well. I'm not sure why it is that way, but this one, if I'm remembering correctly, though, doesn't. I'm trying to glance as I'm reading here, and it seems to be on par, with the exception of the periphery. Doesn't do quite as good of a job of delineating that. Hey, Federated Suns likes large lasers and House Creator likes PPCs, and that's how that's why you get like the K2 version of the catapult, right? And so forth. Like they actually have their kind of signature weapon, so to speak. This one doesn't seem to cover it as much.
Yeah, I'm gonna for now, because obviously we're not covering it yet. I'm gonna say it's probably going to be more due to this being first edition and them sort of slapping the rules together.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'd be really curious to see the same kind of chart in second or third edition. But obviously coming in the future. TM.
I will derail those streams as well, even if I'm not on them.
Nope, I'm officially tasking you for when I get to them that you're going to come back to do.
He's a masochist. There's the proof.
I hate myself and everyone around me. All right, then we have list of tables of costs on everything, costs on.
Well, let's look at those mech costs for just a moment. Not all of them, but let's look at a couple mech costs. Please go to the Vindicator, the world's most glorious mech.
Where
it's under V, right after Phoenix. Up,
there we go.
Right there. It was at 31
3,148,457.5 C-bills.
And 50 cents. Gotta get that 50 cents in there.
Could be the Whitworth that's 33 cents.
Yeah, how's the Whitworth such an amazing mech? I believe it, and I mean that seriously. The Vindicator, I get. The Vindicator has its problems. But the Whitworth is actually, for what it does, is I love that mech. In fact, thanks to Brian, I went from having a total of 8 miniatures. He upped my game by 50%. I now have a total of 12 Battletech miniatures because we didn't play with miniatures because I was too poor as a kid, and when I became an adult, I didn't need miniatures to play. And I don't paint. But he gave me a Whitworth because he's awesome. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
But that's so cheap. But I guess LRMs, so 2 LRM-10s, 2 medium lasers. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, you're gonna save on the front end, by just having missile launchers. But then you're gonna have to spend all the extra money for your ammo.
Yeah, but so the thing usually about the ballistic weapons or the missiles is they're also cheaper to repair. Like the only thing you really save on when it comes to energy weapons is the ammo. Everything that you're not using ammo. Everything else is typically more expensive for them. So it kind of comes out in the wash.
Sure. But again, it's I'm making something up. I have no idea.
The Grasshopper's that cheap?
Where's the Grasshopper?
Right around the Warhammer area, 70 tons.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my God. It's that cheap? I'm buying 100.
Just under 6 million C-bills.
I'm buying 100 of those things.
Buying 100. You have 600 C-bills just laying around and you're not sharing with the rest of us?
600 million C-bills? Yes, sir. I'm Elon Musk of the inner sphere.
I'm Elon Musk of the inner sphere.
How is it so cheap? Wow. That is honestly, outside of the Atlas, it is the most bang for buck mech in this era of Battletech.
I'd be really curious to look at the tech manual and see if it actually talks about price for mechs. It probably does. I just don't know off the top of my head.
You mean these right here?
No. The mech construction book.
Oh, there's a book for that? I thought it just came with Battletech.
It's behind you on the shelf, Max.
You talking just the construction rules in the Battletech compendium?
I mean, I was.
Oh, you're talking. I'm sorry. I don't ever do Total Warfare nonsense. I only have the books because I was still collecting them at that time. So is that what you're talking about?
Right. Tech manual is the construction book.
Yeah, I do have it.
I know you have it.
I seriously, I use the BattleTech second edition or BattleTech Compendium second edition, the one with the was it a vulture, whatever the hell it is, clan mech on there. So,
anyways, I just picked that because obviously it's like they made a 300-page book just about mech construction.
I'm looking at the table of contents right now. Costs, page 21. This book, it's honestly, I've had this book probably for like 2 decades, and it still has that new book smell.
Maybe you should read your book sometime.
No, I don't agree with this era of BattleTech. I have no interest in it. 21. Oh, cost. Oh, it's just a little paragraph there. Okay. Go back here. Whatever. You don't need all this. Laser microphone, really? Parafoil? Okay, here we go. So Battle Mech and yes, there is yep. So it's very similar to the previous editions, just it has more stuff in it because obviously they've expanded the game. I can't see if it's on camera, so I'm just gonna guess.
Close enough.
Okay. So yes. But oh, I'm sorry, did you not
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, again, my point is there's got to be a calculation to get to this number. I just don't know what it is. But
I'm sure they did the math.
Like, yeah. Anyways, but again, that is.
I mean, they went to 67 and 33 and 50 cents. I'm pretty sure they did the math.
Right. I'm just bringing it up because you know you're like, well, why is this one cheap? Why is this one such a deal? I'm just guessing on my answers, but
so I know the Vindicator's cheap because it's crap. Let's be honest. The Vindicator's crap. Even though I'm very good with the Vindicator because I played it many, many times. I know its weaknesses, and I will run away from a fight before its weaknesses, like its slow speed, becomes a liability. But it is a crap mech. The Grasshopper just surprised. Yeah, but PVCs have minimum. Expensive. But they have minimum ranges, and if you have somebody who's using a Wolverine or a Shadowhawk that can actually move faster, maybe not jump faster in terms of Shadowhawk, but can move faster, they like to get inside. Or Griffin. Griffins are a big one. I don't know why they got the LRMs, but I have a lot of Griffin pilots that I play against like to come and physical attack me.
Yeah, but real quick, Max, don't forget, this is talking about the C-bill cost, not the battle value.
No. So this is before battle value. This is what I love about it. But it's still interesting. For me, it's the Grasshopper because the Grasshopper is like the epitome. Like there's almost nothing wrong with it. There's one little tiny flaw, maybe, and that's a maybe. There's nothing wrong with it, and it is so cheap. Why didn't they make 1 million of those things?
I don't know.
It's just weird. But no, using the money, we actually did when we did our play-by-mail game and when we did our BattleTech tournaments back in the day. This is back when I was in high school. I'm 52 years old now, so you do the math on that, how long ago that was. We actually would sometimes say, okay, you've got 5 million C-bills, make a mech. And that was more fun than saying, oh, you make a 60-ton mech. Because like I keep saying, anybody can use the rules to build a mech, to pimp my mech, and make a better mech than what's in the technical readout. But when you're given, say, 5 million C-bills to make a mech, you can make that mech of any size. You can make a 20-tonner with all the latest gadgets in it, or you make a 70-tonner that's got charger weapons that overheats and has charger weapons, right? What's the charger on there for 7 million? Okay, that's got to be internal structure. How is the charger worth more than the awesome and has 5 small lasers? That engine must be expensive. Holy crap! It's got to be the engine. It can only be the engine that does that. But you see what I'm saying? So putting those limitations in there actually fueled more fun. Excuse me, in mech creation than just saying build a mech. Because I'll be a broken record. Everybody who's ever made a BattleTech in this battle mech in this game can make a better battle mech than what's written in those technical readouts. We know this. A real man plays with the mechs and the technical readouts and learns how to use them through their weaknesses.
I'm not going to disagree.
Ouch.
Can't.
I just hurt my finger with a paper towel, so I don't know if I'm a real man anymore.
Mech cost chart and formulas.
Yeah, where's that engine? Yeah, 5,000 times rating times tons. Okay, yeah, that's got to be where it is because that rating is an 80-ton mech goes 5. So 8 times 5, that's a 400 engine in there. So it's got the max engine you can put in an 80-ton mech. So yeah, what's 5,000 times 400 times, I don't know, it's like 52 tons if I remember correctly for that for a 400 rated engine.
Right. And and then divided by or divided by 75. So that's anyway, but yeah, again, this is the math that they used for all of that.
We use that math. I remember, now that I'm looking at, I remember using that math, and I'll tell you that in our experience, it was more fun. It just was. If you're going to create a mech, put a cash limitation on there.
I never considered that. I actually really like that idea, and for all of the reasons that you listed, like you said, 20-ton mech with all the bells and whistles, or an 80-ton mech that can take a hit, but it's got a couple of small lasers. And
so I had a scenario that I had run. It was a 3-part scenario, basically a training scenario for mechs when we made them. And one was a slalom course, one was a fight, and one was, what the hell was the other one? There's the slalom course, there's the fight. Oh, and the other one, because when you make a mech, you know, I know players like to make a mech for everything. Mechs are usually kind of specialized. They might have backup weapons, but they're generally specialized, right?
Right.
So what's your specialty? And then we'd run a scenario for that specialty against somebody else's mech who made a mech. And then in the end, we did I guess stage 4, but in the end, we just had an arena, everybody against everybody. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at determining which mech was better because what somebody would do be, oh, Brian made a 100-tonner and we only got like 70-tonners. We need to gang up on him, even though your 100-tonner had the same money as everything else.
Right. It's just as valuable, but it's 100 tons.
So let's go take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
God, I forgot about all of that, man. That was you just brought back some memories.
You're welcome.
Look at that Hendrix Grimm. Look at that little gimpy sword from House Liao. Yeah, wait a minute. I mean, my glorious house.
All right. So that's the overview of equipment. We are going to go through the color plates just because it'll be fun. I like looking at the old art.
Yeah. What's your favorite one on that page?
On this particular page, there's, you know what? I'm going to, I didn't care back in the day, but I'm going to say Hansen's Rough Riders.
That's always been an interesting, I've always liked that one. My favorite on that page, believe it or not, is Hendrix Grimm. I don't know. There's something about that green eyeball that's just amazing. I've always liked it. I've always liked it too. Now, as a graphic artist, I actually like Red Jack Ryan's the best.
Yeah, this one's much more logo stylized. But that is one of the nice thing about all of this art is that it's art. Mm-hmm. It's not just like so many times it's just very simplified. I mean, you've got the Cretan dragon instead of like the more modern where you just get the black silhouette of the dragon.
I prefer the black silhouette.
So do I.
But that's the graphic artist in me talking.
Right, but again, right, and I don't disagree, but they've got all the scales on here, or on the Davian Sunburst, you actually have, what looks like a sun behind it. So
those there, I like for like ceremonial. I prefer for the mechs. Sure. I like the silhouette. By the way, there's something on this page, and now that I'm looking at it, it caused a huge fight, and I lost a friend over this. This is back in school, so it's school age stuff. When you mention the Capellan Confederation, what do you call it?
House Liao.
Right. What does it say there?
House of Liao.
So, I had been reading.
It got it on all of them.
Right. I had read a bunch of novels that was medieval style, and it kept saying like House of Lancaster, House of Jones, or House of whatever. So when I saw this in the book, because I think, no, that's not true. That's what I was gonna say. Maybe I had this book before the BattleTech book, but I didn't. I started. I actually still have my little cardboard foldouts from BattleTech 2nd edition, And I have written on the back of it, because I couldn't remember what the houses were when I was first getting into the game. House of Liao, House of Steiner. Dude, one of my friends tore into me on that one. It's House Liao, House Steiner, House. Oh my God, what is wrong? And like, I don't know how that became a deal for him. And he'd go to all of our friends like, hey, check this out. He doesn't know it's House Liao. We called it Liao back then, but he calls it House of Liao. Like, okay, so what? It wasn't until I was looking through this book again after one of our previous episodes, and I saw this, like, wait a second, it's actually written there, House of Liao. I was probably right for a minute, even though they never do that going in the future.
I was going to say, and I don't think they've ever done it again. But
I lost a friend over that because he got so incessantly mocking that it just degraded into this weird thing over time where no matter what I'd say about Battletech, it was wrong. Whatever I talked about Dungeons and Dragons, it was wrong. He alienated himself from a bunch of us, to be fair. But yeah, it's like, but it started with that. I'm like, does that word "of" really matter that much?
Apparently so.
I did. All because I put it in pencil on the back of my little
all right.
page.
Then here we have a House Davian warrior.
Porn star.
What?
Look at him. He looks like he belongs in 1970s porn.
I mean, it was written in 1986. That's probably not inaccurate.
So what does that say about the Fed rats?
I don't know. I love all this old art.
No, it is good. That's actually, that's one of my favorites right there because of the SRM2.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but
those are tiny.
Yeah, they are.
You know, that
they only do 1 point of damage though.
Why would they only do?
Because they're not real SRMs.
At
least I could have sworn they only did 1 point of damage.
I don't know. I don't want to switch pages, but I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, because like technically, that actually like helps my brain, because like if you think about it, technically missile launchers should have no reloads. Like, there's no room.
Come on. You know they go into a pocket dimension.
Right, exactly. So, but if you're looking at something like this, if those are short-range missiles, I mean, I could see having a whole bunch of reloads for that. Not in the man pack version. I'm talking on a mech version, but still.
Doesn't say anything here. It gives damage in Battletech, or sorry, Mechwarrior terms. The SRM launcher does 5D plus 6. Let me see if I can find a mech. Oh. SRM does 1 point of damage and only does damage on a 2, 9, 10, 11, or 12 to a mech. The gyro, this is where it is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Go to page 78. That's 78's the real book page. It's 79 for the PDF. Boom, that table. That's where I got the gyrojet. And apparently gyrojet does a 2, 10, 11, and 12, not just 2 and 12, but okay.
So this is okay. Anyways, regardless,
we found it.
What page were we on? 30
color page.
All right.
And why is her hair down? What kind of military standards do they have there?
It's the 31st century. They don't have any. I don't know. They're just trying to,
I mean, that's a house unit. She's wearing Steiner rank. Not like they're mercenaries.
Max, it's game art.
Just ruined my suspension of disbelief here. There's your Hanson Rough Rider.
There we go.
I've always liked that picture as well.
I would say this very much looks like 70s like sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it has a comment. For me, when I look at it, I either see like a Native American or I see Apollo from Battlestar Galactica. The original Battlestar Galactica.
Right, 100%. Richard? No, not Richard Harris.
Richard Hatch.
Richard Hatch. That's it. So,
Unfortunately, passed away a few years ago.
And there's your Demolisher tank.
Yeah, I like that size comparison between the Demolisher and the Marauder.
Agreed. Let's see.
Must be a Merc. He's lazy. Yeah, Linden's company. You know, that's a unit you didn't hear much about.
I don't recall hearing about it ever.
It was mentioned a bunch in old BattleTech, but you never really heard. I mean, Air Downey Light Horse you hear about quite a bit. Obviously, Wolf's Dragoons and Calhounds and blah blah. But Hanson's Rough Riders. There is funny. Never in the novels. I shouldn't say never. There are blurbs of them in the novels, but never in the novels. But man, they always last through the source books, and they're talked about.
House Karita. I like the nice, yellow tone put on her skin.
Yeah, they'd never let women fight. Come on, they're Bushido.
They actually do kind of bring that up in the books, don't they? I think like female mech warriors in Karita, like I believe they actually mentioned that those were actually kind of rare.
You know, I've read the Karita House book, but it's been so long that I don't. The only thing that I really remember from the Karita House book is the little yellow bird, which I thought was such a fascinating idea.
What's the little yellow bird?
The dragon can only be harmed by the little yellow bird because it plucks out his eyes. So that's the only threat to the dragon. So anything that's dangerous is referred to or goes back to the little yellow bird. And it's always the thing you got to watch about because it's small, it's yellow, it's innocuous, but it's the one thing that can hurt the dragon.
All right. Let's see. Now there's your 70s porn star.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he is Merrick. I mean, he's probably got to make some money on the side, right?
I was gonna say, I mean, that was probably his first job. Mechwarrior is the money on the side.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Look at how he's gripping that thing.
Then we've got a nice little, scale reference of a, Warhammer against a Union.
Which is great because, again, you can see the drop door. Yep.
Thunk.
I love that kind of perspective, man. I know a lot of people, and I don't think those were Luce. Maybe they were. A lot of people didn't like Luce's drawings. He's the one that did the original.
Yeah.
I loved him. I absolutely loved him.
Well, to me, that's kind of the iconic, but it is one of those things where it's like, okay, this is the first book. Like I read something somewhere from him that like he kind of lucked into getting the job to do all of this art and basically had to churn it out. He did not have a long time to work on all of this.
Yeah, and some of that you could tell. But here's why I like it. Compared to some of the newer stuff, most of the newer stuff, battle mechs look like the clunky war machines that they're supposed to be. They're not ninja robots. And so I don't like them having curves and soft edges and all this stuff that, especially in a time when you're talking technology is a problem, that they wouldn't waste their time on doing unless it actually had battlefield appeal, like angled armor or something like that. So I really like the more squared, so to speak, drawings of the original mechs and the original tanks. When they started looking all rounded and not so much anime, but just rounded, more aerodynamic, for lack of a better word. I don't know what word I'm looking for. They didn't feel like BattleTech mechs to me anymore.
No, I actually really agree with that. I think one of the bigger problems is what they actually went through and redid all of the art to actually make it a little bit more consistent. But the new stuff, okay, so and I'm talking like new, not even like Tech Readout 3150. I'm talking like any of the Ill Clan recognition guides that they put out. Basically, it was like a whole whole.
Yeah, aren't they just using the PGI mechs now?
No, they're not. They actually got new art commissioned. Anthony Scroggins was the guy who kind of like spearheaded the effort as the art director for it.
Okay.
But the catch and this is like when I did reviews of mech packs that Catalyst was putting out, the bigger problem now is what I call same factory syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
All of the stuff looks like it literally came off of the same factory floor.
What they should do is they got to get artists that can be at least similar. So the style is similar, but you should have one. And I don't understand this homogenization crap. Davian mech should have a theme to them. Kurita mech should have a theme to them. The clans did that, especially with the stupid proto mechs. Like they should have some sort of a theme to them in terms of like when you see that mech, you know it's a Davian mech, but avoiding what you were talking about also. When you look at like World War II tanks, you can identify those German ones like that and those Russian ones like that and those American ones, and the crazy British ones because they're low and wide, like because there were certain themes to them, right? That you can pretty much look at and say, okay, that looks like a Brit tank. They should do something.
And even nowadays, like an Abrams looks different than a Challenger, looks different than a Leopard. They're all very, very similar because the technology and the understanding of how like physics and armor.
And a lot of times multiple countries work on those vehicles too.
Correct. Obviously if you're all in NATO, you're sharing information. But even then, it's I mean, to a degree.
You're right. Yep.
But even then, you still have different looks, different styles. It doesn't look like, that all came off of the General Electric, factory line, in Dayton, Ohio.
The other problem that BattleTech has now is way too many mechs.
Yeah.
It's just like look, don't get me wrong. We loved our TROs back in the day. This, like I said, this is the longest lived one. My 3025 book is actually a replacement. I still have I had an old 3025 book that still had the OSSAW and the OSScout on the wrong pages. I missed that one severely, but so you can see how much damage this has been through, but there are a bunch of tanks in here. There are a bunch of mechs, and don't get me wrong, 2750, while I'm not a fan of the technology, great, you expanded some mechs, cool. 3050, still, okay, we got clans coming in, they're going to have a different style. So far, so good, especially since they updated some of them with technology, right? But then 58, then 60, I don't even know what I have back there.
Hold on. I'm gonna make you back up a little bit. 3055 and 3058.
Mm-hmm.
Or still Dwayne Loose?
No. I'm not even talking about the drawings. I'm talking about what I'm talking about at this point. Like, my God, why are people even creating mechs anymore? There's literally a mech there's 5 mechs for everything you could ever want. You want long range mechs? Got long range mechs. You want short range? You want short range mechs with ballistics? You want short range mechs with direct fire? There are too many mechs out there. If you look at the world's vehicles right now, you can argue, well, the M1A1, there are a few different builds of that. The F-15, I mean, they're on like model K, X, M, Z. I don't know, but that plane has been around for a while, with different roles.
But even then, if you think about it, it's like, okay, so they made the M1 Abrams. How many have they made? Like 10,000 over the last 40 years.
Have they even made that many?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm picking up I'm picking out.
So that seems a pretty high number, but I don't know. To be fair, I don't know at all. I have no clue.
Number built approximately 10,300 as of 2017.
Look at you! Oh, all right, look at you. That's awesome.
Pulled that number out of my ass.
Well, so I mean, I don't know how many models of tanks we're still using actively in the United States. I know it's more than just the M1. And I'm not armed. I was Air Force, and I still work for the Air Force, so I don't know much about tanks when it comes to that. But I'm sure we don't have 50 different models that we're using. We might have 5 or 6 frames that we're using with some, this one's got a bigger gun, this one's got maybe a bigger engine. I don't know. But my point in all this is like, I know the TROs make money. I was told by FASA, this is back when it was FASA Corp, not FASA Games, that the TROs made money. You're gonna do what makes the money. But do you really need any more freaking TROs? Because just using what you were saying, that now you got that whole sameness going on. Yeah, you can only draw so many designs.
Right. Yeah, no, well, and that's the thing is like they haven't done one since 3050. They haven't done a new one.
They've done a 3150.
3150.
30.
That 3150. That's what I meant.
Okay,
3150.
yeah.
But they have gone back and they did a TRO Succession Wars, TRO Jihad, TRO Dark
Why
Age.
did they do Succession Wars?
Because they sort of screwed up in the tech readouts.
Okay.
Because tech readout 3075 isn't just mechs from 3075. It's like, oh, here's a section of antique mechs. And I'm making up numbers. Don't quote me on it. But pretty much everything after.
Well, I stop at 3067. Oh, I mean, I've got a couple of that, but I've never heard of a 3075, unless that's the number you're making up.
No. 3075 is real. 3085.
Is it really as a technical readout?
Yup.
Because I collect those.
Yeah, go look for 3085.
So I have 36. I don't know if you can hear. Hold on. This microphone is directional, so I don't know if you can hear me. I have 3067. I have a technical annex, whatever the hell that is.
That's the vehicle annex. So basically, it's non-combat units.
30. Then I have 3145, 3150, Project Phoenix, and the tactical guide, which is the same format, but it's a really, really old book.
Right.
I did not know, because I do collect those technical readouts. I don't know why, if I'm never going to use the mechs, but there's just something about them.
All right. Going in year order, 2750, 3025, 26, 39, 50.
Wait, 50. 39? There's a technical readout for 39?
Essentially, it was during like the Unseen era. And so it's kind of a combination of 3025, 30 50, 30 or 2750.
Yeah, because I go from 3025 to 3050.
Right. Well, 3039, I mean, technically is a fourth Succession War book. Anyways, 3050, 3055, 3057, 3058, 3060, 67, 75, 85, 3145, and 3150. Those are all the year ones.
Weird. Okay. Like I'm missing almost half of those, and I had no clue.
So, but yeah, so the thing is that a lot of those later ones had multiple eras. So they do like the Mackie. Okay, well the Mackie was in like 2500.
Yeah, didn't they change the Mackie around though? Because originally that was supposed to be a 10-ton mech, and they made it like a 100-ton mech or something.
It's 100 tons. Anyways, but the point being, because there ended up being mechs from all sorts of eras in these books. So when they put out, tech readout Succession Wars, basically, and it's not even everything that they've ever published that was a Succession Wars era mech. It's here is a big selection of mechs for Succession Wars. Here's a big selection of mechs for Jihad. Here's a big selection of mechs for Dark Age. But then
we'll have to talk after the stream or sometime in the future, so I can write that stuff down and find out which ones I don't have and actually find out if it's worth it or not.
Me personally, I just went with anything marked with a year on it, and then there's two that they did where they combined some of the Il Clan era PDFs to use the new art in it. So,
what you're saying the new art has a sameness? What is that? Just a generic, or can you point something out that's like that picture? Is that a Stuka or is that a Stinger?
Lightning class
Oh, it's Lightning?
aerospace
Okay.
fighter.
Lightning. I am not good at identifying those. I should be better, but I'm not.
Oh,
Except for the weird Steiner ones that are just flying wings. Chippewa.
there we go. All right, this will show you what I mean.
Oh God, that's see, but that entire design, like I don't like any of those designs. They're too rounded. They're too.
Nope, that's not a good one. Sorry. I know we're captivating the audience here.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so all right, so the Hammerhead, the Conjurer, but look at the art for all of these. Again, kind of these like partially angled.
What is that? Oh,
That's a
Marauder
Marauder 2. No, and I'm not saying it's bad art.
Yeah.
That is not the
Well, most of them have been bad so far. That one was an exception.
But the point being, if you look at these, to me at least, as I've looked at a lot of these, it all, like I said, I call it same factory syndrome.
Yeah.
Because, they're
very rounded.
Right, very rounded. They've all got these kind of armor plates.
It's kind of that anime look without being anime at the same time.
Kind of, yeah. And again, it's not bad art. I'm not trying to bust on the artists themselves, but as far as the art director is concerned, these mechs all look the same. Whereas if we look at the old school tech readouts, they did not. They all had very, very different looks, unique looks. Dwayne Luce, make whatever complaints you want about his art. Everything felt different to me.
The complaints about his art that I heard were, 1, they looked unfinished. 2, some of them were direct copies.
Sure.
3, by the way, I'm not saying I agree with this. I want to be very clear about that. 3, some of the proportions were off a little bit. Like you said, though, he was rushed on and it kind of, to be fair, looked that way. And then there's certain mechs that some people just absolutely hate that I love. For example, the Centurion. I don't understand why people hate that design so much. People love the PGI version of it better. The PGI version is the most god-awful thing I've ever seen. Like that was one of the first things that turned me off to Mechwarrior Online after this was from Battletech. But after I backed it and went on and saw what they did to the Centurion, I'm like, that's not a Centurion. Well, we don't like the original design. It looks stupid. But it looks like a Centurion. Like, what the, like this, the thing from PGI looks like a fat monstrosity. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway, for me, the loose drawings were good. They gave an abstract, blocky look, not that kind of clean cut. I don't want to say anime because anime has a different style to it, but they really look like, instead of jagged lines, like just stop on that one right there. Perfect. I wasn't even. If you look at like that thigh armor, it's, even though those are straight lines, it's also rounded at the same time, kind of like, just, I don't know.
Oh, this straight up looks like a Veritech.
A fat one, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But again, going and looking at these again.
Why do we have so many mechs? That's just too iconic. That one's hard to screw up.
It is, but again, does this quote unquote stylistically look any different than the other mechs we've been looking at from these little
maybe
pamphlets?
It's because I'm jaded, but I say yes. I think that looks blockier with the caveat of the ankles.
I mean, it looks different, but I'm just saying this looks like it came from, well, okay, both of these are Scroggins for the artist, but again, it looked like it.
I like that Warhammer a lot. Go back to that Marauder 2.
Yeah.
It looks too clean to me.
Fair.
that's what I liked about Luce's drawings, is they look, I don't know, even through the more minimalistic drawing, they look like war machines to me in a battlefield that of a mech that's been around for 300 years. Mobile Suit Gundam, OG Gundam suits where they had the blocky rounded edge. I don't care. It's all animated. I have never seen any of those. It's all animated. It's all Robotech to me.
Yeah, no. Again, my only real complaint. The artists are good.
Yeah.
But like.
I actually like this one too. I've got to be honest. I like this one too.
Again, I do like them, but. And actually, I'm not even going to use modern cars because unfortunately, cafe standards made every single car look exactly the same. But go back to like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a Chevy looked different from a Ford, looked different from a Toyota, looked different from a Nissan.
But a Ford and a Mercury look the same.
Yeah. Well, right, but that's the thing is you could make that argument. Ford and Mercury. "Quote unquote, same factory syndrome."
Yep.
So
I hear, but I really believe that the problem right now is that they have too many mechs. Like, what mech do you need now that isn't in a TRO? And what mech didn't you need 50 or 15, 20 years ago that wasn't already in a TRO? And yet people are still making their own. I get the fun of, don't get me wrong, I get the fun of making your own mech. I'm talking for like a campaign or whatever. Like how many freaking mechs? It's all for the purposes of selling miniatures.
Selling miniatures and selling tech readouts.
And selling tech readouts, which are two of the biggest, well, at least they were, biggest sellers. I don't know anything about their sales now, and I'm not going to pretend to know. But I have 12 miniatures. Of the 8 that I had before he gave me 4, I'd say 6 of those were probably stolen when I was 16, 17 years old. I've had them that long. They're very old Ral Partha designs. I think 1 or 2 of them are still lead. I could be wrong. Somebody told me that they might be lead, but they're really old designs because I never needed anymore. We'd proxy them, and we had no problem proxy them. Or I would use this D6 right here and say, hey, the point up on the shield, that's his front armor. Or put a little dot on there, and that's how we played because we were poor. So I never got into the whole mech painting thing. I never got into that, thank God, because that would be a whole ton of money and time that I don't have. But I go back to my question, and I don't know why it's rhetorical. I shouldn't expect an answer. I'm not. But why do we need more mechs? We don't. I'm still trying to make that perfect one.
Okay. No. I'm going to disagree a little bit. I'm not going to say we don't need new designs, but the thing is that the designs, like, okay, when the FedCom Civil War tech readout comes out, so 3067, okay, there should be, say, half a dozen new designs. Like look at World War II. Like the P-38 came out in like 1939, but it got made throughout the war.
Here's the problem with that. I hear what you're saying, and I love it. And I agree with you. But here's the problem with that in Battletech. Battletech doesn't have situational combat like that. Whereas in the P-51 Mustang can take a bruising and keep on cruising. Not the fastest thing out there. There was the Spitfire, the British Spitfires that started taking down the Nazi planes. Like, that thing was absolutely amazing, but it was paper mache. The Zeros started the war being freaking awesome. We said, hold our beer. And we started taking them down like they're freaking candy out of the sky. But Battletech doesn't have... See, if Battletech would have implemented tech change, let's say 3025 era, crap. 3035 era, well, let's add in Artemis 4 systems and 3045, ooh, we've got light XL engines. 3055, we have rack autocats. If they would have implemented that stuff much more slowly, I would absolutely be on board with what you're saying. They didn't do that.
Well, no, but it's not just that they didn't, quote unquote, slowly introduce the stuff. The problem was that they also, it's like you've got a couple 100-page book with 50 new designs.
Yeah.
We're not going to have 50 new designs. We might have 10.
Well, you might have 50 new designs, but guess how many of them actually make it through product testing and get a product? Wow.
Right. No, exactly. But that doesn't sell tech readouts and that doesn't sell
I get
miniatures.
it.
So.
And yes, I do understand that it's a business, yada yada, but I don't have to like the business ruining the game aspect of it. But ultimately, yeah, I'm probably going to look for those tech readouts as well. I don't know if I'll get them. Like I said, anytime I play BattleTech now, it's either Mega Mech or it's 3025. So, with that said, a couple of these things absolutely fantastic. It'd be really awesome if somehow you couldn't do this. This would totally break the lore of the setting. But break it down to say 3 light mechs, we'll say 3 light mechs, 5 medium mechs, 3 heavy mechs, and 2 assault mechs per house as like their signature design. And then say, you know what? What's the new Wolf faction called? Whatever the hell those guys are called. They took over one of the Steiner factories, so they're now putting out Zeus's.
Right. No, but that's the thing is they kind of did that. Well, no, I mean, not that specifically, but they did talk about like, when Clan Wolf split. And so then you had the Exiles with Phelan Kell, they went and they set up full manufacturing and had all the clan tech,
Weird how they had all that capability.
Anyways, not the point. Let's finish off this so we can let people go.
There's a neuro helmet. Sliced open a little bit.
Right, sliced open.
That little hexagonal area is the only place you can see from.
I was gonna say, and not to scale because she's a little bit large for that, I think. But this is classic Mechwarrior garb.
Mm-hmm.
Totally approve.
Absolutely.
Wolf Dragoon jetpack. 21st Centauri Lancers.
That's another one you don't hear. They make it through all the source books, but you don't hear much about them.
That's fair. Eridani Light Horse.
Is he smoking? I love it. Is that a cigarette? No, that's his radio, isn't it? Never mind.
No, because there's a... Oh, yeah, that's his radio.
Yeah. No, there is one of somebody smoking. Or a couple of somebody smoking.
As there should be. House Liao with they managed to scrape together an overlord?
Look, man, it's photoshopped.
It's photoshopped. And then obviously some good old classic.
Thunderbolt is one of my favorites to this day.
Ooh, Natasha Kerensky's hot. With that 80s feathered hair. And
look, I like the 80s feathered hair, but I don't know. She looks like she belongs in a Motley Crue video. And doesn't that Marauder look like it's about to fall over?
Yes. Yes, it does. Look, even owning chickens, I still don't understand how those legs work. All right. There we go.
Here's my Battle Master. Yeah, this one had definitely an M80 or something that went on.
That's fantastic. All right, so that has gotten us through 60 pages. We're about halfway through the book.
That was like the smallest chapter in the book, and it took us the longest episode.
No, technically not. The equipment started on 31.
Yeah, but you skipped like 9/10 of it.
I did skip quite a bit. No, and Max,
I get
the
it.
chapter didn't take us very long. All of our side quest conversations is what took us.
You know what? 9/10 of that side conversation, if not more, was BattleTech related. So,
correct. No, exactly. Trust me, it was great. I've been again. This has been a lot of fun. So I will say it. Thank you again for joining me on this deep dive.
Oh, thank you for having me. This has been, look, Heathen Dog and I, we try to be too professional in our streams. If I were to interrupt him this much, or if he were to interrupt me this much, we'd probably get mad at each other because he's used to doing like lecture mode and wants to keep it on. Like if it was up to him, he'd have slides. So anytime I interrupt, he knows that conversation is actually what people like, but also internally he doesn't like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's like, no, you're gonna listen to me, and I'm gonna get this done.
Yeah, kind of. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's because he doesn't like his time wasted, but he's understanding now that, especially with our comments that we've been getting recently, that people like the kind of interaction. It shows that people are human. Remember, this is a live stream, folks. This isn't an edited video. If he wants to do that, well, he can take the time to edit out all the fun parts. But I think this is what's important for a live stream, and these have been absolutely fantastically fun. My only concern is that you're not like, oh my God, Max, shut the hell up.
No. I'm fine. We're actually lucky today because, with Kim being sick, she's not trying to get me. She's not here anymore.
Well, you're in headsets anyway. You can pass the news on.
I will. I'm just saying,
I was being nice in the live stream. I think I actually get no.
Anyways, no, but my point is she'd be chasing us off so she could make dinner or whatever. But anyways, but no, this has been great. It was fun to just like be able to talk a little bit more. Because next week, folks, when you come back for episode 5, we're gonna finally start talking about combat.
Oh, you're gonna go to the Battletech book?
No. We're gonna talk about Mechwarrior combat, which also I think is gonna be a lot of Battletech rules.
And
we'll
healing
see
time
when we get there. I don't know, because that's the thing. So combat is 10 pages, which is usually about what we can get through. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to get to damage.
No, I was just talking about the rules aspect of it, not that we were
okay.
actually.
No, because damage and healing comes up in.
Man, I'm out of Capellan gear. What the hell am I going to wear next week? I have 2 hats. I wore my pins. Now I got the jacket. I'm cooking in this thing.
Look, as long as you have clothes on, I don't care what you wear.
Ooh, I have a Soviet commissar hat over there. And I put a Capellan logo on there. I used to have bigger ones than this. I actually had like 2 inches.
Hey Max, let's talk about that after the stream. But anyways, so folks, that is what we will talk about next week. Max, would you like to shout anything out before we go?
No, I'm too embarrassed. You don't want it. Matter of fact, can you put a finger over that the name down? There we go. Whew, thank God. No, please check out Legion of Myth on Sundays. We're covering. Heathendog is finishing up AD&D 2nd edition. I think this week, or he might have one more week after this one. But I think this might be the last week of AD&D 2nd edition.
Really? Finally?
Well, this whole year, man. I started with basic. And that was half the year. And then he took the other half of the year. These have been really slow read-throughs this year. But it's because the books were compact. Unlike the other games that we've covered, where the books are this thick, but it's 5 words per page. This is old 70s, right? Like what we're reading here.
Oh, yeah. Tiny font. I'm like,
yeah, we don't need
I can zoom in and I still have to put my glasses on.
Yeah, we didn't need pictures to read a book back then. So, so that's why it's taken us a long time to get through. But he's finishing that up. I don't know what I'm covering yet for my overview. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to cover yet. So it's probably going to be another Rifter from Palladium Books. But check that out.
That's very safe. So awesome. Then let's see. For me, I have got to do more videos. So folks, just subscribe and watch for new stuff to come out. As always, I will mention my second channel, Reading Wikis for You. Go check that out. It's fun. It's just your interesting fact of the day. And I need more people to subscribe to that. So
and leave a comment. Always leave a comment. What interesting fact did he tell you that you didn't know, even if you didn't care beforehand, but you might care now? Leave a comment.
Or what interesting fact would you like to know more about next time? You can always put that in a comment.
And then don't go to the wiki yourself and look it up and wait for him to do the video.
Yes. Anyways, all right. I can get distracted. All right, folks, thank you so much for hanging out. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.